Rowena Dooley, asking Sol citizens to report for duty. Rowena Dooley, asking Sol citizens to report for duty.
And greetings, welcome back to Soul Voices. Pardon me, I am GriffinGamingRPG, and it is Saturday, July 1st, the new month, going into the third quarter of 2023, and we are happy, or I am happy, we are happy to be here. Hope you guys have had a great week this week, and a good weekend starting off. For those of you in the States, we're going into our our annual Day of Independence Day, and that'll be going on this week for some folks. In Chicago, where I live, there's going to be believe it or not, the very first city, I think it's the first city NASCAR race. Not looking forward to it because it's going to be crazy getting around in the city as usual when we have big annual events. But there's a lot of anticipation to see how this thing's going to work and whether it's successful. So anyway, other than that, going to jump into today in our conversations today. But before we do that, we do want to go back and say a couple things. Thing number one, many of you guys know that we are doing a fundraising campaign for St. Jude Children's Hospital called Play Live. They usually do it during Children's Cancer Month, but we've opted to extend it over a period of time because of the amount of money that we'd like to raise for them. We would like to raise $10,000. That's our goal for St. Jude. We've previously raised funds for them a couple of years ago, and we're doing it again this year. And so we're hoping that you guys will be able to join us. And if you've already given, please don't feel super compelled to give again, but I will ask you to send the information out to other people. Let them know about us, first off, obviously, and secondly, let them know what we're doing in regard to St. Jude Children's Hospital. Got to say this. We started this campaign about a month ago. It was right either the first or second week in May, and you guys have already got us to our first tiers. Our first tier was a $500 tier where we gave away some Soul Citizen swag. And on last Sunday, right at the end of the show, you guys crossed the Rubicon and got us to the not 10,000, I wish, the $1,000 tier. And now we're at the point where we're going to do a RSI, Concierge Chairman's Club pack. We hit the $1,000 mark last week, so give yourselves a big shout out. Great congratulations to all of you who contributed and helped us get to that goal. And that package will include what will it include? It'll include a concierge bag, concierge keychain, concierge t-shirt, concierge hat, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's in the package. It might have been a fifth item. But anyway, if you are a Chairman's Club member, you'll have another set, or maybe some of those items you never purchased because they're a little on the pricey side. And if you're not in the Chairman's Club, you can walk around and pretend that you're in the Chairman's Club. You can come to CitizenCon with all this cool stuff, and people will think that, hey, that guy, he's in the Concierge, he's in the Chairman's Club. So anyway, thank you guys for helping us reach that goal. We're going to be doing the giveaway for that on tomorrow. We're always going to do the giveaways on our main show on Sundays, just so you guys will know. Regardless of when we hit the target date, it'll always happen on that Sunday. So make sure you tune in tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time, for our Sunday show. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the topic, but we're going to do that then. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing in relation to St. Jude. Let's get into the topics for today. We actually have, I think, 4 topics. I'm going to try 3 or 4 topics. And this week I'm pulling, usually we pull our information from Spectrum, Reddit, or the gaming industry. But this week was such I'm going to say a crazy week, but there was a lot going on this week within the Star Citizen community. So I want to pick up on a little bit of Fast Card Show from Thursday. And then I do want to pick up some information that happened in relation to CitizenCon. And then I want to pick up information in relation to Spectrum and try to cover all of these. And then a little bit of the history. We're going to be doing a show on this later on. In a couple of weeks, we're doing a show on the RSI website. But this might kind of tie in a little bit of what happened this week, a little bit of the history, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. So let's jump into it. The title of today's show, TicketMaster or TicketDisaster? Which one? If you attempted to get a VIP exclusive ticket to CitizenCon this year, you may have been one of the fortunate ones who, on the very first try, boom, you got your ticket. You said, yay, I got my ticket. No biggie, right? But if you were in that first group and you tried to get your ticket, some people had problems. And we're going to talk about that later in the show. Not going to be the first topic, but we were going to talk about it, about what happened with the ticket purchasing. And if you're interested in going to CitizenCon for that matter. But before we do that, let's go back and talk about this past Thursday's ISC, because there was an interesting show. Once again, CIG whipped one out on us that we weren't expecting, and it was in relation to Port Olisar. And the topic for that one today is going to be Port O gotta go. Port O's gotta go, y'all. Let's talk about this. What are your thoughts about what we saw in relation to Port Olisar? Hey, I feel good. Thank you so much. Who was that? Who made us feel good right off the day? New Soul. Thank you for the 24-month subscription. Appreciate that as always. Thank you. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about what we saw on Thursday. CIG showed us this video at the end. Although the whole show was actually on Port Olisar, right? I mean, we know that, right? But they talked about this new Port O that they're going to bring in. And I'm really curious to see what you guys think about Seraphim Station. The thoughts of, any warm feelings, bad feelings about Port O. Does Port O bring good memories to you? Does it bring bad memories? Because every time you try to take off, somebody pad rammed you there. There was some good news. CIG said that it is going to come back in some form. We don't know what that form may be. Some people have had a lot of different ideas about what would happen with Port O. So I want to open that up into conversation. So you can click on the link that's in chat and join us for the conversation. Now, the link should be on our page too for coming into Discord. So if you want to share your thoughts about Port Olisar and this transition that's coming in relation to it, yeah, I'd like to have you come in and talk with me about that. So let's bring some folks in. We've got, ouch. MT Stunner, thank you for the 500 bits. I haven't heard the bit sound in a long time, so caught me off guard there. Thank you for those 500 bits. We do appreciate that as always, and appreciate you. Let me bring in Pops in Space first, and we are going to start this conversation off. Pops, are you there?
Oh, yes, I am.
How are you, man?
Okay.
Good. What are your thoughts about Port O's gotta go?
Oh man, I am going to miss it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody is. I think Port O is near and I would think that it's near and dear to most of the older people. We joined in 2018,
mm-hmm.
So, you know, it was your first spawn-in place. We walked around. I was impressed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not a huge place to think about it. Like they said, it is kind of old. There's no way to get one platform to the other. You have the EVA. You've got to get out. And
Right.
that was kind of, I thought that was really strange.
Mm-hmm.
That part, I thought at least would be a walkway between the two.
Mm-hmm.
But it does need to be updated.
Mm-hmm.
A few people have had few ideas on what that. I won't go to that big, but I'm gonna definitely miss her, but it will be it's gonna be a good upgrade to it. She's gonna come into the 2953 century.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, so you got fond memories then. No bad memories about Porto.
Besides being Pat ran.
Okay. But otherwise you're gonna miss it. Okay.
Everybody got initiated,
Gotcha.
right?
Okay.
So you know.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Pops. All righty. Pop says, got good memories about Porto. Let me bring in Kai Zen. Kai, you there?
Hello. I see
brother.
you're saving the best for last. You got fast card on deck or fist on deck. Right
okay,
on.
Good.
Okay, so I got some feels on this.
Okay.
With regard to the first issue, I'm a little confused about all of. Well, okay, I'm not at all confused.
Which issue? The ticket issue?
No.
Oh, Porto. Okay. Oh, Porto. Okay.
So
okay. Gotcha.
I actually am going to expand this out, and it's a couple issues to me.
Okay.
So the first, it absolutely makes sense that they're doing this. And I understand people that are going to be upset about them doing this. The reason why they're going to be upset about them doing this is PO was the OG game. It was the start. It was the first station.
Mm-hmm.
It was bespoke. It was handcrafted.
Yeah.
Everything was individual. Everything was, made to purpose and unique, unlike any other station in the game. And that's exactly why it has to go.
Yeah.
From a item budget coding standpoint, when you have something that's like that, it means that every time they do an update where they change these 3 systems and these 8 subsystems and these 5 variables, they have to go in and by hand fix each and every little instance of everything in PO, because all of the other stations are modular and set up such that when they make the fix, they hit execute, and in theory, fingers crossed, it shoots across all of the data tables and it fixes them. Whereas with PO, they literally have to go in, and everyone who complains about Star Citizen taking too long, that they need to get with it, and I am one of those people on occasion, needs to understand that when they make changes like this, that gets them to a point where they don't have to waste time every update. They don't have to waste maybe 3 guys spending a week of their time every 3 months on an update to just fix a thing that every other station, they hit a button and it imports.
That's right.
You have to, this is part of it. This is part of being a grown-up, accepting compromises and saying, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
I get it, but like maybe there's a compromise here where they have some derelict PO in the future or something that doesn't get all of the updates and is just a static location or something. Maybe there's things you can do, but like you have to understand and make compromises in order to try to get a timeline taken care of.
Yeah. It's good. It's good that you say that too, because I know sometimes, we don't even have to talk about gaming, right? People in general have a thing with change, right? Anytime change comes up, we always struggle with change, even when it's for our betterment, right? For better good. And I think that we've seen, you've been around long enough and I've been around long enough to know that whenever change comes, there's always some rumbling, but when the dust settles, right, it's usually forgotten about. You know what I mean? It's usually, we move on, right? It's not something that, 4 years later, we're still saying, where's Tessa Banner? We miss Tessa, but we ain't mad that Tessa's gone. You know what I'm saying? So I think that there's always going to be a little bit of reaction to something, especially something like you said that's been around since almost virtually the beginning of the game, coming into the verse. You're right.
And to be clear, I'm not saying, hey, all y'all people that don't like this, you're wrong. Like, I understand why you wouldn't like this. I don't like it either from the standpoint of, even Morphologist did an amazing, a beautiful video that was a tribute to Portalis art. He talked about how the architecture was unique and how it was different from anything in any other game. And he was right. It is. So those people that miss it, I completely understand.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason behind doing it is saying, hey, let's not have everything take 10 times as much time. Let's make it, let's start getting our shit together and getting it in gear so we can head towards an end game thing.
Good point. Good point.
As a wider issue, a thing that occurs to me is this. The lore for Orison, the lore for Crusader is very specifically stating that Orison was chosen, Crusader as a gas giant was chosen by Crusader Industries, and Orison as a station was chosen and located where it was for a very specific purpose. That its location at that level of the gas giant made for the ability of heavy manufacturing and heavy shipping and heavy this and heavy that, and it gave them a unique advantage, which was why they can make the B2, the A2, and the C2 there, because they are located in a place where it facilitates that.
Right.
That being the case, I'm confused why Orison doesn't take advantage of the opportunity to be the only quote-unquote planet-side station that will allow for shipping, trucking with your hull B, your hull C, your hull D, your hull E, etc. Because when you think about it, those hulls can fly in atmosphere. They just can't land and cargo load in their extended cargo configuration. They could do that no problem at Orison. Because Orison would be a place where you would literally pull up to a docking thing on the side and they would have these gantry arms that would add the cargo to the side of your ship, whatever. When you're quote unquote landing at Orison, or you have the ability, let's say, to quote unquote land or dock at Orison on the side of the station somewhere at a special trucking terminal where they could, it would be the only place in all of Stanton's system where you could load those hull C's, hull D's, hull E's heavy cargo ships, because they don't have to have their landing gear out. They're just floating on the side. And I would love to see that be a thing.
Okay. It's a good suggestion. It's a good, I like the idea. Thank you. No problem. Thanks for sharing the lore too. All righty. Good one. All right. Thank you, Kai. Let's bring in Fist to Face. Fist, are you there?
On there, Griff. Hey, Griff, can you repeat the question, because I had to restart my computer?
Sure. We were talking about Port O's got to go, and the question was pretty much, what are your feelings about Port O? Good, bad?
Okay.
You know, the idea of the new Seraphim station, any of that stuff.
Okay, got you. Well, I like Seraphim. I'm not mad at it. Obviously, I came in, actually, it was funny. I was doing this last night. I came into the game about 2017, September 8th. So I don't know when obviously PO was already there when I came in. So I don't know when PO first was introduced into the game.
Right.
And everything like that, you know, the sentimental value of it. Obviously, I've heard folks talking about, you know, that's it's old code and obviously being unoptimized and stuff like that, which I can get, you know, from the game point of view. You know, what I would like to see, though, to my point, is that I would like to see an event for this. Now, I know we saw it at the end of ISC this past week, where, you know, you saw it coming down, burning down to the street. But I would like to see what they do, you know, with the old buildings in Las Vegas or around the world where you demo it, right? And, you know, folks show up and see it blow up or whatever, or you know what, you could see them take it apart. Yeah,
that would be kind of cool, right?
Commemorate it.
Something in game, something actually in game that takes place of it.
You know,
well, I think the other thing too is it would have been cool. But I think that the caveat would be that CIG said that it's going to come back.
Okay.
So we don't know what that, and we don't know, but I'm saying we don't know what that form is. That's the problem. You know, does it come back as a working station? Does it come back as, to Kai's point, maybe it's a derelict at this point? Like to your point, like if we did what you said, like where it got destroyed in some form, then maybe it becomes a derelict. We don't know.
Right.
That's the thing. But I do dig your idea of saying that we have something in game that moves into its next transition. I think that would be a very cool idea. I think that would be a very cool idea. Yeah. And it would be, I mean, if they decided to do it like a derelict station, that would have been kind of like a, you know, some type of, and then the question would have been, who's attacking it? I mean, maybe Ninetales, but see, I don't even know if Ninetales could have did it. You know, because to stay within lore, it's so weird because you'd have to have the UEE show up and
Well, you know
Are
what?
they
Not
that far
necessarily
along
blowing it up,
tech-wise?
like, necessarily somebody attacking it, but just kind of like saying, hey, a farewell, like they do a demo crew to
Oh,
an
like a
old
UAE
building.
station come in, a UAE
Right.
crew come in and start
And
dismantling or
they
something.
dismantle it or something like
Oh,
that. And they,
yeah.
like the salvage crew. I mean, there you go.
Ah, there you go.
Your
We could have
salvage
all
crew,
salvaged it, right?
there you
Go
go.
through with our
Your
beams and take
salvage
it
crew's
apart.
coming in, take it apart. You start seeing the parts fly off or whatever, warp out. And
Yeah.
then next thing you know, you might see it in another system, light years down the line or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. It would have been kind of cool to do something in game, but I'm looking forward to see what they do come up with, because they got to come up with something, right?
Of course.
Seraphim's there, so is it going to be where it went out of orbit and it's someplace out? The other thing too is it could be something that they create in the game that's something that we as players stumble upon later, right? Like
Right.
we've talked about systems that may pop up or wormholes that aren't sharded. Maybe
Right, there you go.
Olisar pops up someplace and somebody actually comes across it, and then we find out, hey, there portal's
Right.
over here. But it would be cool
There
to do
you go.
something in game. I dig that. Okay.
Yeah, you can turn it into your own base.
Oh my God, you always in this base stuff. All right, I'll
Hey,
talk to you
I'm just
later.
saying. I'm just thinking. Hey,
Okay, talk to you later. All right, let me bring in. Let's see, Admiral Kusanagi's next. Let's bring in Admiral. Admiral, you there?
I am.
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Good. What are your thoughts about Port O?
I think it's definitely needed. I mean, it's a fan favorite. I mean, it's a lot of memories.
Okay.
Coming into the game in 2016 myself, it's just been that welcoming station to what I've known to be the verse, and to what many people have known to be the verse, and it's kind of sad to see it go. I wasn't going to comment here, but then I kind of was thinking that maybe they'll end up bringing it, since they're not going to take it out of the game. They're saying they're going to use it for something else. We don't know.
Mhm.
But they might have alluded to this in that old video when the Vandul attacked it, and that little video, like from 3 or 4 years ago. So maybe that will be something that happens to it, and maybe it'll just be used there. And maybe a mission to save it, or to defend it from being attacked. So there's a lot of possibilities for the station still. But the update here is greatly needed for the cargo system, and I think what people have said is, like, bounty hunting and stuff like that. So it's good to see some change. I guess change is always good in this, especially in Star Citizen.
Yeah. To your point, in case people haven't seen the video that the Admiral's referring to, we are going to show it on Sunday. I've already put it together. Kind of assembled it so that it all looks like exactly that's what happened to Admiral. So it's going to be on the show this Sunday for station
I
to
didn't know
station.
that.
I know you didn't. No, I know you did. We were thinking on the same page. So we're going to do that for station to station this Sunday. The one thing I did do, GoMob challenged me the other day by saying something, because he mentioned about how Seraphim Station kind of is reminiscent of stations that we already have. And I actually spent getting ready for tomorrow's show. Ironic, the show for this Sunday was called Station to Station, right? Because we didn't completely know, we didn't know that the ISC was going to be about Port O, but I went to all the stations yesterday. I spent the day going to each one of them, shooting video footage and stuff for the show. And what I saw was that there are some stations, and one station in particular looks very much like Seraphim Station, but Seraphim does have some other things that the station doesn't have. The docking areas, they put in a security area, which I also thought was interesting, Admiral. Remember, was it last IAE, they showed us the new security stations where we'd be bringing in prisoners and putting them in. They stated in the show on Thursday that area there where the UEE ships dock in, like the Javelins and stuff, that's also going to be the security area. And so they're building this out for when we're going to start doing the bounty hunting mercenary stuff, that's being set up too. So there are some new elements that are there. But someone else also reminded me, and this kind of went past me, because at first I was like, yeah, why did they just make another station that kind of looks like the other ones? But they did say the stations would reflect the systems that they're in. So in other words, the stations in Stanton will all be reminiscent of each other. But when you go to Pyro, they will look different. When you go to Nyx, they will look different. So that's why you're not getting a station that kind of looks very this over here and a very that over there. They all kind of do have that flavor within their same system. Now, for game building sake, that makes sense too. Because if you're talking about, let's just say, right, I think that right now they're like about seven, I think there's 7 stations in Stanton that you can go to. The crew L's, all the L's, right? There's like 6 of them six or 7 that you can go to. If they had to create a unique one for every freaking system, I can't imagine how long it would take them. But if you say that here's the general, what's the word I'm looking for? Metric for what we want in Stanton, and we just need to have variations on that. First of all, producing them will be much easier, much faster. Replicating them will be much easier and faster than if we try to create a completely unique station for every freaking, Lagrange point in the game. That would be thousands of different stations. Can't imagine the amount of time it would take for concept art, development, everything else to do that. So just so people will know they did say that each system would have its own unique design. So that's pretty cool.
And that goes along the part that, some systems might only have one station, like
True.
we're getting with Pyro.
Yeah.
And
well, Pyro has more than one station. Pyro does have more than one station. There's the ruin stations there, but there are other stations. Well, I shouldn't talk about that, but there supposedly are other stations in Pyro, and we'll have to stumble across them. What they'll look like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know whether they're fuel stops, like we used to have back in the day, or whether they're Lagranges. I don't know, but I think that there is more than just ruin station.
I'm certainly not going to be filled out like
oh
this
yeah,
probably is. All Star has always been like, hey, great armor selection, all the ammo you want. The only thing you couldn't buy was like the rocket launcher. You had to go find that, or like the launchers for that and the railgun.
Right.
But it pretty much had everything you wanted there. But this brings out go into the other systems and find lackluster stations that you need a BMM to show up once in a while to sell their wares.
Good point.
So,
Good point. Okay, Admiral. Thank you very much, brother.
All right.
Alrighty, Admiral Kusanagi. Last but not least, we have I think this is a new person. R is the name. You there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh,
I'm not new.
Is that red? I don't know why your name's not coming up in my thing for some reason. All I'm getting is R. That's so weird.
Yeah, maybe it's because we had to change our handle.
Oh, okay.
In Discord.
Okay.
Maybe that's
what it is. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Okay, well, no problem. It was good to talk to you. I haven't talked to you in quite a while. It's good to hear you.
Yeah, I had some work, so now I have some time to come along. Port Alessa. Of course, it's very sad to see it go.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I hope they make a kind of an Easter egg like Betty's Hills, that you have to find it somewhere in the verse.
That would be nice.
And that you can, if you find it, you can get a one-time. You can buy something one time, special gear or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of show you've been there.
You've been there.
Know? Yeah.
That would be very cool. Something in game. But Fist was saying something in game tied to it. That would be kind of nice. I like that idea. It would be great.
Yeah. And there's a couple of other things I actually want to spout here quickly.
Sure.
It's about general in over all the space stations.
Mm-hmm.
The elevators, of course, they go like Willy Wonka's.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope, but that's a very big copium hope. They implement trains of tubes going back and forth to the pads, or the hangars. Yeah. So it's more immersive, in my opinion, than have like you going through everything in an elevator.
Yeah.
That's why I really hope for, but I understand that's pretty.
It would be nice.
There has been an overhaul need, but I would hope that this one would set another bar then.
Yeah, I'm hoping, to your point, and what I was just saying a few minutes ago about how each system will have its own unique designs, and we kind of get that a little bit. When we first went to Hurston, we got more of a subway feel, right? But then when we went to Microtech, it became more of a monorail feel, So maybe they will come up with something like that where there's a tubes kind of thing. Maybe that'll be a Terra. You know what I mean? Someplace like that. But yeah, it would be kind of cool to see variations on how we move around beyond the typical elevator.
Like you have it now behind. Just when it's finished, there was like a space station there in the background, like here now. Yeah. You have like a big round, and then you have like a I would see like one has an elevator go up and down, and the other one has a tube going back and forth to get to your station of your ship.
Yeah.
So that would make more sense than it is now at the moment. I can see why they do it, but that's still a hope for me. And there's another one. People are a bit concerned about the amount of players that is going to be in. I think CIG also addressed it because they're going to work with instances of the hub. So the instance of the hub is going to be yours if you bought it or rent it.
Right.
So they don't need a shit ton of those hubs, in my opinion. And that's also why our beloved Port Olisar has to go.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
It's sad, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, the good news is it's going to come back in some form, so we'll have to see what they come up with.
Yeah, I hope it's going to be an Easter egg like Penny Hill. So that will be great. One last thing, and then I'll stop.
No problem.
Some people want to have like everything on one space station or one planet or whatever it is, that they can buy everything there.
Right.
I think this time I'm agreeing with CIG. To force us, well, I don't know how much force that it is, but to go around for different stuff. Like in real life, you do the same, you know?
Right.
You cannot buy everything at one shop. You have to go to different shops to get what you want.
Yep. If you remember,
and I think...
I was going to say, if you remember, and I think what Admiral was referring to is that when it was put in the game, it was kind of like the one-stop shop, right? But they did expand it, and what they did, to your point, what they did was at first you could get everything in Port O, just about everything, and then when Grimhex came in, they kind of made it so that the bad guy armor and weapons, you had to go to Grimhex to get, right? But you couldn't get them in Port O, right? So to your point,
made sense.
They've kind of expanded it now because I know that there is still kind of a little bit of a feel at Port O that you can go there and find most of the stuff, but like you said, they've kind of broken it up now, in the different places now, which is good.
And then one last thing. I still have a little hope that they make Arena Commander inside of the PU, if you know what I mean. Because we have this Microtech. Yeah. It has all those pods. Why not make it more into the verse itself?
That is what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to be able to buy those pods. And the pods are going to be designed for us to train in when we're doing things in the game. So you'll be able to buy a pod and place it in your hab or on your ship. And you can open up a simulation scenario that you'll be able to practice that, because they do ultimately want to do exactly what you're saying, where they combine those worlds together. And so it's not like you have to log out and go into Arena Commander to go practice your fire. You should be able to do it in game. You're right on the mark with that. Right on the mark with that.
And that's about it. What I have about the space station.
All right, that's good stuff. Thanks, Red. Good to talk to you.
Yes.
All right. Last but not least, I thought that was last but not least with Red, but last but not least is Fast Card. Hey, buddy.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I just want to say the thing in Discord where only the first nestle shows up drives me nuts on Thursday. I get that all the time. It only starts when I use XFlex. So yeah, I get that too on Thursday.
What happened?
But
wait a minute, say it one more time. I missed
the thing when the only one initial, only one letter showing on people's name in Discord. That it only happens when you use XFlex. And yeah, it drives me nuts because of Discord new naming policy.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and on Thursday, BBG said that Port O showed up in 2.0, and that was in December of 2015. So it's been out for a while.
Yep.
But I just wanted to say the end of ISC when they showed it crashing into Crusader. I hope that make that. I think they should make that canon. I think that should be a real thing because so someone can make a 3-hour cinema like the Titanic. I think that I think that'd be great.
I think there's always been like a little bit of sentiment of people wanting to see, especially after what Admiral Kusanagi said. They threw that little demo out where the Vanduul show up and attack the station, which some people, like I said, haven't seen, but some people have. And I think that's kind of stuck in people's minds that if it was going to go, they'd want to see something happen there. But I think the fact that CIG says it's going to return, kind of limits it has, like you said, it's got to work with the lore, right? And what happens to it, does something happen that launches it out of orbit of of a Crusader, or does it take on a different orbit because of something that happens? Because to Kai's point, Seraphim Station's important because right now, if Crusader is supposed to be that, big shipyard, shipbuilding facility, you have to be able to bring resources back and forth from it. And right now, what would happen in general is that large ships like Hull C's, D's, and E's would deliver resources, to the station, right? Yeah. And Port O cannot accommodate that. Its design doesn't allow for us to be able to bring resources that would be then brought down to the planetary orbital stations. So there is, even from a lore standpoint, it has to be expanded. And then as Steve, not Steve, what was the guy's name? Sean Murphy. Not Sean Murphy, the other guy who talked. John, I'm going through every developer's name except for the guy who spoke on Thursday. Not Sean Tracy. Todd Pappy. Todd Pappy talked about the fact that the code and the design had its limitations. They could not expand on it anymore. Modularity doesn't work there anymore. So they had to make that decision. It is interesting to see that people, they get it. They understand why it's got to happen. But, there is a little bit of, sadness, to see something that's been in the game so long, disappear.
By the way, I think you're wrong about Tessa Bannerton. People are still mad that she's...
Nah, you're the only person mad about Tessa because you want to get her phone number. You're the only person that's still mad about Tessa Bannerton.
No, not me. I'm talking about other people I know. I'm serious.
No, I think people miss it. Yeah, people don't get me wrong. People miss it. But, but we know Tessa's going to come back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying...
Yeah, they said that like... How many years ago?
Well, there's a lot of stuff that's disappeared in the game that we know is going to come back, and that's the testing aspect of it too. Let's be real. If Tesla was still running right now, most people wouldn't be doing it. At this point, it's been in so long. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, all right, buddy. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. All right, that's FC, you guys, the man himself. Let's go ahead and jump into number 2 here. This one's going to be, I don't even remember what number 2 is myself. What is number 2? Oh, okay. Here we go. Fastcart sent me this one the other day. He asked me if I was interested in it. Yes?
You moved yourself.
Oh, I moved myself up. Oh, thank you, man. Oh, how the heck did I do that? I grabbed the wrong one. Okay, hold on a second. There we go. Thank you, Fist. Fastcart sent me this the other day. And he didn't know that I was doing this whole thing about communication and Citizen Con. So I told him, yeah, thank you. I appreciate this. Why does CIG keep communicating stuff pretty badly? This was a Spectrum post. It came up, if I'm not mistaken. And I'll show you what it was tied into. Because, we've talked about CIG and communications in the past before. What could be done. Don't get me wrong. We also very quickly will say that CIG communicates better than other developers, in our opinion. This is in our opinion, that they do a lot of communicating. There's a lot of transparency. It's not always to the level that the backers want, but if you compare it to other games that we've played and beta tested and sat in forums with, we think that they communicate a lot of information. But sometimes the information doesn't come out right, comes out badly. There's sometimes faux pas that happen. Some of the faux pas that I've complained about, particularly most recently, was when the Crusader Spirit came out, that the stats on the ships were wrong. And, for people who are, as consumers, who are making a purchase on a ship, there's already limited information when you're buying a ship in this game anyway, right? Because, first of all, you see the ship, your eyes go ooh and ah, but then the next thing is, what does it do? And, even when we ask, what does it do? It's not always reflected. We get an idea of what it's going to do. We get a general idea, but the exact mechanics of it aren't always there. And then we look at the specs on the ship, right? And if it says that the ship has this much cargo space or it has this type of weapons, we're using that information as a way of determining whether or not I want to spend my money. And if those numbers are wrong, as a consumer, it hurts me. Now I'm not even talking about from a gameplay standpoint. I'm just saying I bought something that doesn't do what I thought it was going to do. So that's one example that I know where I was like, okay, CIG, that you should have released that ship and the numbers were wrong. But this person has an interesting post, and I do want to kind of talk about it a little bit. And you guys can follow the link. I think Fastcart dropped it in for you, so take a look at this link because there's a little bit of wording to this one. Let me see. I got to go back and look at who wrote this. This was written by, I'm sorry I didn't put the name in, Feynman02. So why does CIG keep communicating stuff pretty badly? Sorry. So I recently read a couple of posts from Xylo and Canel Jake, both stating two entirely different things. Now, my question would be, why do you keep communicating with us in a very poor way? A lot of us keep taking feedback and keep posting it in the issue council, as well as we discuss it actively of what is good for the game. But how can we trust you if transparency works very weirdly and community devs state different things from actual devs, engineers, programmers, artists, etc.? Also, this is an example of what has been the same for years now. Now, they say for same, I don't know about that. I know it's been occasion of it. This was in relation to TOE, and they said this, and I don't understand this because, anyway, this is from Jake, and it said, the post said, TOE isn't in active development and hasn't been, and we never said it was canceled. Shelved does not mean canceled. Now, the person is taking point to the fact that Jake said that TOE is not in active development. Xylo wrote and said in another post, it was never said that TOE was shelved in the Q&A. This seems to be a mistake in the notes. What was said is that it's actively being worked on, and some of the benefits of that work are coming to Arena Commander soon. So Xylo says that TOE is still being worked on, where Jake says it's not in active development. That's what they were raising a point on. Now, Xylo responded to this post by saying, the Reddit thread, my reply came from was a recap of a Bar Citizen Q&A in which one of the noted answers was incorrect. Actually, a few of them were. TOE is being worked on with immediate focus on importing features into Arena Commander, such as multi-crew spawning and others. In July, the team will continue to work on the TOE game mode itself, including bringing the mode back to a playable state. Things can decay when left untouched. You'll see this reflected on the roadmap soon. Okay, so let me stop there. So my question, and this really is kind of like a question about communication. What are your feelings about communication as far as CIG goes? Do you think that they're I don't want to talk about the amount of communication. Okay, we've already had the conversation about whether they're transparent or not. That could be a whole nother conversation. I do want to talk about, do you think that that they communicate badly? Or is it just this, there's a lot of information and sometimes one person thinks they have this and the person hasn't heard the most recent thing. Is that a situation for you? So let's go ahead and bring some folks in. Let's bring in Pops in space. Pops, you there?
Yes, sir.
How are you? There you go. What do you think about CIG rather? I'm sorry.
Their communication? Yeah, it is badly, but I think it's going to be badly for a particular reason because this is a development. We're in development, so things change internally. They may one day give us information about so-and-so ship. Maybe a couple of days down the line, the ship has to change for whatever reason, unforeseen reason that they needed to change it. So there's going to be things like that. So I think what we as a community, and maybe they should put this in their post, that things are subject to change.
Well, they do, Pops.
But,
well, here's the deal. They do say that things are subject to change. I think what this person's point is raising is that at the same time, there were two different people who work in community relations who said two different things. I don't think it's in relation, like the example I gave earlier about the spirit. Yes, things will change, right? I think we're talking about what happens when they publish it, when they officially state something, and then there's contradiction. One dev says this, but another dev says that. And it's in the same window of time, right? I think that's the issue that the person is mentioning, because we know stuff can change, right?
Right.
We've seen that happen. But I think there's concern about that. But I don't want to necessarily focus on this particular thing as much as I do want to focus in on the question of, and I think you did answer it, do they communicate badly? Why do you think they keep, because they said keep communicating badly? Or do you think do you think it's just something that's just going to happen because it's development?
Out of all, all the time, most of us have, all of us have worked in a business capacity in some way, no matter what you've done. and that's always been true, which was my point.
Okay.
My point, there's always some miscommunication somewhere. So we, and on one point, we should not expect CIG to be perfect, because they're, it's just a normal thing. I mean, as consumer end of it, I can understand, hey, we're putting our money into it. I'm buying something off of the specs that I'm seeing, and that is disappointing when that does happen.
Okay.
But there is that disclaimer that we do have things are subject to change.
Okay.
So we've just, I think we've just got to live with it.
Okay.
Up to a certain point. Then what you do is you go back to them, you make a post, you say, hey, I bought this chip, can you clarify something? And I think that end of it, their responses, they usually do tend to respond to things like that, and they usually do let us know. It may not make us feel better or happy, but they do respond at, and say, hey, this was the reason why. Disco will do it maybe on the show or something like that.
Okay. Gotcha.
All
right. Thank you very much, Pops.
All righty.
Okie dokie. All right, let's bring Red Bear 1 back. Red, you there?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'm here.
What you got?
1 second.
Sure.
Yeah, about miscommunication. Yeah, that kind of happens with a big company.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger, the more miscommunication, because you have more people.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, I'm just doing an assumption here, when the one gentleman at CIG had the info, it was old info, and Xylo had maybe the more updated info.
Yeah.
So they both communicate truthfully their latest info they had.
Right.
But the other one was not updated that something was changed. So what Pop say, yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question then. Because you said as the company gets bigger, there could be an issue. And I would agree. Yes. Let me put some context to that. If you've been around any amount of time, there was a period of time where information only came from a couple of the sources, right?
Yes.
Back in the day, Ben Lesnick was like the person that everybody listened to for the latest with Star Citizen, right? And then that evolved into Ben and Disco, right?
Yes.
They became the voices of when the community, we would get our updates and stuff. But then later, when Jake went with them and working with the roadmap, Jake became another voice, right?
Yes.
And to your point, I think you hit on a real nugget. And the nugget is that the information that they both had for each of them was credible at that time. Yes. I do see why there can be confusion, because there are some things that Jake deals with that are exclusively Jake. And then there are some things that Xylo deals with that are Xylo, right? And then there are those things where they kind of cross together. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so this type of situation could be one of those situations, right? Because TOE, in relation to the roadmap, is something that Jake would be dealing with, right? And we would think that if anybody knows if something's in active development, Jake's going to be the guy to ask about that, right?
Yes.
At the same time, because TOE was such a big subject in the community, you've got the community manager, who is Xylo, right? Who is now also speaking on behalf of what he knows from talking to the devs and stuff. So this could have been, like you said, one of those ones where the wires just got crossed, right?
Yes.
I do want to say that the person, the thing that bothers me about this question, and I'm not trying to defend CIG, I'm just saying I am seeing it as a point of that I take issue with, is I said, why does CIG keep communicating stuff pretty badly? I think overall they communicate well. I think there are those occasions where they don't communicate well. You know what I mean?
Like, people remember the negatives more than the positives. And that goes with anything.
True. Yeah. Yeah, you could have 100 good ones, but all you need is 2 bad ones, and that the world's blowing up right over those 2, right? That's a good point.
They always do everything wrong. Those 2 out of 100, right?
There we go. All right, Red. Thanks for adding some context, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Needy Beach. Thank you for that follow. Appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. I don't think I've ever seen that name in chat before, so they may be a new person. Okay, that was that one, guys. Let's move on. Before we move on, well, no, let me think. Yeah, let's do Q3 and then we'll come back and talk about St. Jude because we haven't reached the top of the hour yet. Let's do that one. Okay, this one here, I got to look at my sheet myself here. What is my subject here? Oh, okay. Let's talk about this one. Question number 3. Where are concierge benefits? Citizen cards and concierge VIP cards. All right. Now, some of you guys may not know anything about what I'm going to talk about because we're going back old school now. Okay. This is old school. We're going to put a link in chat for you that's in the Star Citizen Tools website, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry, Star Citizen Fandom. Use that one, Fast Cart. And I'm gonna read this to you guys so that you guys will know what we're talking about here. What you see on the screen right now is what we call a concierge card. It has had different names over the years, okay? But the concierge card is something that you would get from time to time, or you could even, at one point, you could purchase them. We actually, in the early days, you could buy one. But CIG put out these cards, and let me read to you what it says on the fandom page. It says, these are, did I put words up here for this? Let me see. No, I didn't. Okay. All right, let me put these up, okay? Citizen cards. These are both digital and physical items in various colors that were given out in a limited time during the Kickstarter crowdfunding program. Now, mind you, this was during Kickstarter. Keep that in mind, okay? This is back in the early days, very beginning of funding the project. The color of the card is depending on the total amount that was spent or pledged while the campaign was active. In the game, these cards will show your pilot's citizen status, social standing, credit account, and more. The physical card is a wallet-sized card that is a certificate of the contributor's support of Star Citizen. Cloud Imperium Games Corporation intended to deliver the physical cards by Christmas of 2012. However, due to delays with integration of Kickstarter pledges into the official website, the cards weren't shipped then. The deadline to submit information to receive a card was pushed back to February 16th of 2013. It was possible to upgrade from the bronze card to the silver card, from a plastic card to a metal card for a limited time. In order to obtain the citizen card, the contributor had to pledge at least $30 for the game, and the cards came in different colors depending on the pledge amount. I'm going to read these to you guys. I got the cards on the screen. There was a $30 white citizen's card for being a scout. Some of you guys remember this in your titles. When you go to the website, when you do your profile, you see these different titles. Now you know what this ties into, okay? $40 was a white card. That was for a mercenary. $60, if you gave $60, you got a green citizen card and was called Bounty Hunter. At $125, you got a brown citizen card, which was a colonel freelancer. At $250, you got a silver citizen's card, Rear Admiral. Look at that. You got a rear silver card, okay? Rear Admiral. $500, you got a gold citizen card for Vice Admiral. At $1,000, you got a platinum card, which was a High Admiral. $2,500 was High Admiral. $5,000, you got the black card, which was a Space Marshal. And at $10,000, you got the titanium card, which was Wing Commander. Okay. So I want to say that this was during Kickstarter only. After Kickstarter, that was it. Okay. Now, let me go back to this card. This card was issued again. And at one point, CIG gave us these cards. Now, the cards were supposed to also give you access to other things that CIG would do. This card here that I have is a concierge card. It's a VIP Founders concierge card, United Empire Earth Planet for Grand Admiral, okay? Pardon me. That's what this card is, okay? Now, I'm going to go back on a little bit more history here. Oh boy, a whole bunch of people are already in the chat. You. There was one event that CIG has held over the years. It was an event that was held at the LA office, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm remembering correctly. And if you had a certain level of concierge, I can't remember if you had to have a card or not, but I do remember that you could apply to go to this thing. It was limited space, and they had this event, and you paid to go to this event, but it was a dinner. You got a tour of the facility. You got to see some behind the scenes stuff. We found out later that some of the people got a chance to see the Nautilus, if I'm remembering correctly. I think it was the Nautilus. They got to see the Nautilus. I think they got to see it like created, not just pictures of it. And anyway, they got tours, all types of things. Talked with the devs, had lunch with them, all this other stuff. So I'm going to bring folks in on this one. I don't know who was here first because I was talking. So I'm going to kind of go a little bit in order here of whatever I think I've got here. So I'm going to bring in Admiral Kusanagi first, and we'll go from there. Admiral, you there?
Oh, crap. It's my turn.
Yes, sir. It's your turn.
So I had to just quickly dig here. I had to pull out my Concierge Guide 2947, which is this nice card cover bound Chairman's Club.
Yeah.
Which tells me all the benefits about being in Concierge and which each levels mean. And I don't know what that cost the company. And then I found my nice little hard metal 4242 High Admiral card.
Okay.
And what the hell, Sig? Where the hell's the rest of them?
So yeah, well, let me ask you a question. What are the benefits, right? I mean, you've got them, and you've got these different levels from contributing and giving, but what would you like to see? Because the only benefit we have, there are some benefits, right? And I don't want to diminish it and say there's no benefits. Back in the day, for example, if you were Concierge, when ships went on sale the day before, you were able to get access to buying the ship. I think it was even at a discount. There was a little discount, maybe $5 or $10 less or something like that, right? And it was like on Thursday, and then it went out to the general public on Friday. You also have your own. Like you also have your own area of shopping for things that are Concierge or Chairman's Club related stuff. But what else would you like to see? Is there anything else?
Where's that in game?
It's not in game. It's not in game.
No, but I mean, if I go into that nice place in Microtech,
yes,
there should be like, hey, for those members that are Concierge, you got this list of clothes you can buy here.
Right, that would be cool. That would be cool, right? Because we've got real clothing in life, but not in game, right? So that's a good idea.
And John Wick, when he goes in the back and he sees the tailor and he wants to make you something like that, that'd be awesome.
It would be great.
Regarding the tickets thing, I won't get into it right.
Wait. Tickets are the next conversation. So it's the next question. So yeah, we will address it.
Well, you know where I'm going with that. So, okay. But I prefer I get the High Admiral card here, the metal one, and sorry, to my dismay, I actually went to the next one higher, and I feel like I don't need the green cards anymore, but I think if people spend a decent amount of money supporting the game, because we're still supporting it, I don't care what they want to call it, they should still be providing something physically tangible that someone can hold and look at. Like all the money I've spent, I do have a nice little Chairman bound book, but I mean, this is it. This is like my investment that I made. This is my personal investment. Right. It's not an investment in the company, but it's my personal investment. Something I can be like, ooh, Star Citizen, without having to turn on a computer or my phone and to take a look at it. I think that's meaningful to people, and I think they should continue to do that. And if they have to spend an extra, 5 cents per $1,000 to print one of these out, would be nice.
Okay. All right, those are good points, Admiral. Thank you. That's good stuff. We will just hang on to your question. Don't forget your question about the tickets, though, because we're going to come back and talk about that. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let me bring. Let's see. Got something flying around in here. Oh my God. Let me bring. Who's I'm gonna bring in next? Fist to Face. Let's bring in Fist to Face. Fist, you there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Okay.
So I was kind of worried about this myself. Now, obviously, I came in a little later. These cards were probably gone and done with by the time I came into the game. But as you guys spoke about this the other day, I was kind of like, where are the value in these cards?
Okay. Let me name some more stuff for you, okay? Because I don't want to make it like the cards don't give us anything. Right. Let me try to remember everything that you get if you're Concierge cards. You get there is a physical store that we buy stuff in that is totally separate from the regular marketplace store, and they're basically called the Chairman's Club, and we have Chairman's Club items which we're going to be giving away this Sunday. and you can only get it if you're concierge.
Okay.
There is a, I mentioned earlier that when ship sales came up, concierge people usually the day before find out about the sale, and they also would get a discount if they bought War Bond. And then the next day,
right.
the next day, then it goes out to the public, right? There's
Right.
also, we also get to buy ships beyond sales. So like, let's say they say the ship is going to be sold for 7 days. Quite often, if you're in the concierge level, you end up getting like 30 days that you could still buy the ship like a week or 2 weeks later, right? There are certain paint schemes and things like that if you're concierge, you can get that even if you buy War Bond, you don't get those paints and stuff like that. There are sometimes in-game items. Every once in a blue moon, there's an in-game something flair that's given out, okay? But one of the problems has been consistency, right? It's kind of random. And secondly, CIG has told us that they were going to expand what it means to be Chairman's Club concierge, but we really haven't seen anything happen. Okay.
Right.
So
now,
what would you like to see as a benefit?
Okay. Well, I get what you're saying. Because I was kind of confused about the VIP card thing. Like, I know about all of the stuff that you said because I'm in concierge as far as that's concerned, and I do get.
I know you know about it. I was just sharing it with the people because some people may not be at that level. They don't know that that's what comes with it.
I just was concerned about your cards because when you showed me all of those cards, and I was like, man, wow, okay, what's the benefit of those cards nowadays? I don't see anything. I've never even heard of a mention of them on the website as far as from them, talking about the company, as far as CIG, other than hearing it from you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that kind of made me say, like, well, damn, what's the value of these cards?
Well, let me give you let me give you an example of something because you're going to be going to CitizenCon this year.
Right.
When at CitizenCon, they also would have this. I'll speak about what they've done in the past, and I don't remember them doing this in 2016, but in 2018 they did. They actually had private gathering areas depending on what level you were, and we're going to talk about this a little bit in the next category too.
Gotcha.
But depending on what level you were in your donating, you would have a private bar, an area exclusive area that you could go to. Now, what they did, and I wish that they would do this. I wish that what they would do is allow you to say, like, here's my card. When I go to that bar, I have to present this physical card. And if I present this physical card, I gain access to that area. Kind of like what Admiral Kusanagi was saying, like we've got the Chairman's Clubs actually in the game. There's actually those physical places you can go, like the VIP. I wish that, like at CitizenCon, if I take this card out, you get access to going into that particular thing.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I would like to see. Because now I know we're getting ready to get into the other topic. I'll save it for that part. But that's what I'm trying to get to. Where is that benefit at?
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
The physical card actually means something. Yeah. Right. To Admiral's point, it's nice to have it because it's something tangible. But to be able to translate this tangible item into something that, man, when I'm leaving the house to go to CitizenCon, man, don't forget my card. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now, mind you, if I don't have my card, they should be able to go to a list and say,
you can pull
Griff
it
is
up
at
on
this
your
level.
account.
But it would be kind of cool to be able to whip this out. And guess what? People who are standing around that see you pull this card out, hey, dude, where'd you get that from? Very kind of cool thing. Little bragging rights kind of thing, right?
I get it.
Okay.
Right,
all right, that's cool. All right, brother. Thanks a lot.
As well as a commitment to the game.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
Exactly.
Yep.
So.
All right, buddy.
All right.
All right. Last but not least, let's bring in Red Bear 1. He's back. Red, you there?
Yeah, I am back again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All those things you named, the benefits of being concierge, are all true. But all in all, in my opinion, the whole card has no value unless they do something with it. But I don't see anything going on for the card besides bragging rights. Like, hey, look at this.
Right. So what would be something you would like to see as a benefit? Let's say you spent $1,000, right? What would be something for you that you would feel like, and I don't get me wrong, we get something back from it because we play the game, but I'm saying, is there anything exclusive to that you would like to see happen as a person?
I would, but I'm pretty sure I will make some people angry about this when I spout this, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay.
It would be nice that they have like a QR code.
Okay.
With the QR code, you can buy one time an F8.
Ooh, that's interesting. Now, okay. My only problem with that is that you have to spend a lot of money to get to an F8.
Yes.
So, can a person spend $2,500 and just say, well, I'm just going to go ahead and buy the F8? When people had to spend $10,000 to get an F8, they're going to be pissed.
Hey, well, that's what I said in front of, right? I mean, but then again, they have it for free, right? Let's be honest.
Well, they paid 10 grand to get it, though. They paid 10 grand. If you pay
No. They have a lot of other ships already. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, but you can't get it without spending $10,000. You have to spend $10,000. If you have $9,999 in there, you still don't get an F8.
Chris Roberts said it was as a big thank you to the people who begged for 10K.
Right.
They get an F8.
True.
Right.
Oh, you mean free like that? Yeah. Versus them having to earn it in game or something like that. Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's true. Okay. So let me ask you this. Let's go down the road you're going down though. How about, I like the idea of the QR code. Because, like one of the things you get when you're a subscriber is you get like the discount, right? You get that 10% or 20%. What if concierge people got that discount all the time? They didn't have to wait for that one time a year coupon. But anytime you buy something, you get 5% off.
That would be nice.
No matter what.
Then there will be actually value to have a card like that. I'm serious.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, there's the physical side of this card, but there's also what is the benefit, the virtual benefit of it, or the game benefit. And I like your idea of saying that the card does represent something that can be done beyond the souvenir, right? That there's something that you can gain out of that. I don't know what that thing is. It could be, I don't know, it could be anything, but I'm just saying, I think that there should be some other benefits that go beyond me having to spend more money too. You know what I mean? Because I got to spend more money, to even take advantage of the benefits. You know what I mean? Now, one thing I forgot to mention, guys, if you're concierge, you know this, you do get sales on stuff. Sometimes merchandise, like for example, the Star Citizen t-shirt may normally be $25. If you're concierge, it might be $17. That does come up. They do things that give you some discounts when you have it. Okay. But no, that's a good idea. But man, buying that F8 board, Red, you really want to set the place on fire. Okay.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Thanks a lot, buddy. Thank you. That's a good idea. Oh my God. Red's trying to start a real argument here. All right. Last but not least, we've got one more. Let me see who this, I don't know why this thing is not showing me full names. I'm not sure who this is I'm bringing in, but you can let me know. Who am I speaking with? Hello? Are you there? Okay. Going once.
Hello?
There he is.
Hey. Sorry, it looked like I was trying to reconnect to the channel.
That's okay. I'm sorry, your name's not coming up in Discord. Who is this?
Oh, it's Northern Trooper.
Oh, no. Hey, Northern. How are you, man?
Good. How are you, sir?
Good. What you got?
So I think I'll be kind of quick on this one. I think the issue is it's more of a systemic problem.
Okay.
Whereas and somebody please correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think there is a POC for concierge and above. Like there is no CIG employee who is our liaison. It's they got concierge support. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to concierge benefits, there's nobody who talks to us. There's nobody. In my mind, I think at how big CIG is, there should be an employee that does a quarterly report, feedback with all the concierge and people with the cards. Saying,
nice.
Are we doing enough for you? What would you like to see more? Would you like to see less?
Nice.
That way, it keeps the communication between the concierge, the players, and the company still fluid and transparent. And so issues where you have VIP cards just kind of, like I said, they're tangible, but what else is that for?
Yeah.
The black cards and pre-ticket sales and so on and so forth. So I think it's not an issue where it's like, what are my benefits? It's like, who can I talk to? Who's our how can we have a council built?
Yeah.
So that way we can have a quarterly communication. I think that would be advantageous for everybody.
I think that's a great idea. And guys, forgive me because the more people talk, I start remembering other things that are tied to the concierge or the VIP level. There is a forum that concierge people have access to, where we have our own conversations and stuff like that. But to North End's point, is there because we get these random, at least to me, I could be wrong because it's hard to keep track of so much of the information. North End, I know we get occasional messages, right? That email that comes in, right? That Chairman's Club note. But to your point, I don't feel that that there's some type of regularity or structure to it. I feel like it just kind of comes out and they sent me a Chairman's Club email. I wish there was something like what you're saying where there's actually even though, and some of you, okay, let me say something else. Some of you guys don't know. Concierge is also supposed to have some form of preferential responses whenever we post a problem that we have on the concierge page. If like there's something wrong with your account or you ordered something and it didn't come through, basically we get responses, quote unquote, faster, quicker responses to our inquiries. So I can post something to support, and usually I will say within 48 hours, I get a response back from them. Sometimes faster. But to North End's point, it's so scattered. It's not structured in a way that makes me feel like once I'm at this point, I have a certain level of exclusivity. I hate to use that word because I know CIG tries to keep things feeling equal across the board, but it would be nice to know that there's a point person who continually and consistently produces information, responds to inquiries, listens to the community of people who've backed at that level and know that they're there. Because right now it just feels like North End, it just kind of goes into the ether, right? You don't really know who we're talking to.
Yeah, definitely. And I think having some sort of like quarterly, I know they have the concierge level benefits and stuff like that, but having some sort of, instead of having a one-way communication that said email, congratulations, you got an email, more like, hey, here's a feedback form, or here's a council, let's open up a thread on the concierge level and let's talk. Where are we, what do you have, what do you want, what can we compromise on?
That would be great.
And so
no, it's great. I think it's a great idea because I think they gave us a survey like 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, that said something along the lines of what would you like to see happen in concierge, and that was it. nothing came. I haven't seen anything change really, so I think that's a great idea.
And is that because there's nobody that was they're the primary contact for that? Nobody took the reins. It just, like you say, it went to the kind of the ether, and that was that.
Yeah, somebody
needs to take responsibility. And
and for us to know who it is too, which would be great.
Agreed.
Okay, thank you, buddy. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Good stuff. All right. Last but not least, we've got Unique Gaming here. Unique, you there? See if he unmutes. I'm sure he's there.
I am here.
There he is. There he is. How are you, buddy?
I am here.
There he is. There he is. Good. What you got?
Sorry, I had to mute that thing.
Yep.
So, try not to be super salty, but we should, you don't feel like a VIP after you spend all of this money. Mm-hmm. They give you the card, it says VIP, but it might as well say sucker. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't have one F8. Uh-huh. I have two. Uh-huh. One of them's black and gold. Uh-huh. If y'all figure out what that means, then you know. I didn't get a text, an email about the ticket sales in advance. That's it. Like, not even like a discount. I didn't get anything. Hey, the tickets are on sale. Uh-huh. It's coming. You should get in the queue. Anything like that. I was talking with Fastcard, and he said, hey, he got an email. I was like, really? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was after he had already bought his ticket.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, there's no effort put into you being, quote, a VIP that I can see or feel. And it's been pretty much almost 11 years now.
Let me say this because some people may not know this. Unique is one of our team members, and he's also one of the people that we know that has been in this since the Kickstarter. So let me ask you this as a Kickstarter backer, what would be something that you would like to see as a benefit? Maybe one or two things that you think that would be like, make it worthwhile. Whether you're in it for $1,000 or whether you're in it for $40,000, what would be to you a good benefit?
Just some semblance of that you are in that level of category and the continued thankfulness, right? I mean, basically, they printed these cards and gave them to you, and that was the entire thing. It's basically, give me a bunch of money, and I'll give you back very little money, effort, time, right?
So what about North End's suggestion about talking about someone who consistently communicates? Like you were saying, for example, you didn't get the email or notification. Would that be something that, specifically, that you get that says, hey, concierge people, just so you know, tickets are going to go on sale, blah, 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 blah. Is that something that you would like to see, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, any kind of communication that indicates that you are a VIP. Am I getting anything at all outside the general mass, right? Right. Other than that, because you basically feel like the earlier you got in, the earlier you got left behind from the company, Okay. So they know they're going to sell all the tickets. So they didn't put any effort into parceling them out to VIPs. We didn't even get notification that early that was going to happen, so we could be prepared. Okay. Yeah, there's just no benefit whatsoever about being a VIP. Somebody said we could discuss more, and what would you like to see less of? You can't see less of it, of something you don't get, right? There's no less. There's only more. We need to see more of something.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, buddy. Thank you very much. All right. And last but not least, we have Kai Zen. Kai.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
All right. I want to, first off, take a moment to say I love and respect all of my Soul Citizen and Star Citizen brothers and sisters. I'm about to give a hot take that probably is going to piss some people off, but I just want to say that I love you. I'm not trying to be bad, okay? Having said that, I could not give less of a shit. I have no shits to give. I have none. Just zero. I would like to shut down everything. No cards, no VIP concierge, right? No. I'm Griff, because it's you. I'm gonna edit myself and say F all that. All right. This is some Davos shit. This is some 1%ers getting extra bullshit shit. This is some, oh, look at this. The people at the top want more. No, stop it. Stop. All of that.
Let me give you. I hear you. Let me tell you why I would counter what you're saying.
Okay.
The backers didn't create the system. They did.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Now let me say this. I don't think that what people are asking for is about. I think what people are asking for is communication, for one, because CIG puts things out saying, for example, we're going to expand the concierge services area, for you guys, right? And people respond, they write in text and then CIG doesn't deliver. Sure. They don't deliver. It gets silent. They go quiet, right? Sure. As consumers, for example, I never gave with the intent of reaching concierge. I gave because this was in concierge just happened to be the benefit that came. And when they outline all these benefits and they say, well, this is what's there, then that's cool. Now, like when I went to CitizenCon, Kai, and they had the exclusive bar, it was a no-brainer because they were going to have the bars anyway. All they did was just make a room and put the bar over here, and it was a small little area. So it didn't cost them anything extra for them to do it. It was just the psychology for me as a backer that there was a place for me to go. Now, guess what? When I went in that room, guess how many people were in that room? 5. The other freaking 1,000 were outside. So I went in there and thought it was cool. But I spent most of my time out with the other people. Okay. I don't want, and I agree with you to a degree, because I don't want it to be a situation where it's like, we should be getting more privilege. I don't want it to come off that way. Okay. Because I don't think that's the case. My question had more to do with they've created this modem in the game that they created, and the question is, it feels empty. And the question is, and that's why I asked the question, what would you like to see? What would make you feel that supporting and continuing to support this project makes you feel good about doing it? So like when I said, having this card, if I walked in, and mind you, doesn't make a difference. I walk in and say, here's my card. And they say, okay, thank you for coming in, going to the room. That's it. That didn't cost nobody nothing. And I felt good psychologically by doing that. Now, if you tell me having this card gets me 50% off on my ships, well, yeah, I'd raise all types of stink about that. Okay. You know, I'm not going for that, because I don't think that there should be. That's why I said, how do you strike that balance between the person who's given $45 and that's all they've given, and the person who's given $40,000 and it still feels
how
good?
I strike the balance.
Okay.
I want them to respect the guy who's given $40,000 and say, thank you so much for your $40,000. And that's it.
Okay.
I want them to respect that person exactly the same amount as the person who spent $45, because I live in a shit world called Earth circa 2023 in a country where all kinds of shit is rigged in favor of those people that put in a little extra money and can afford all the lawyers and can afford all the whatever. When I play a video game, I want to be, as a citizen of the verse, I don't care if you spent $400,000 or $40. $37 on sale, special one time, whatever. I don't give a shit. You're a citizen. I don't want cards. I don't want whatever. Now, what you're talking about is common courtesy of people being nice to you when you go down there. And whether you whip out a card or you whip out a smile, I want them to be nice to you because you're a citizen of the verse. But I don't want there to be cards. I don't want there to be special one time, hey, you get a t-shirt, you get a one time, oh, you get a 10% off, or you get a whatever. Here's what I want. If you want to show me respect as a citizen of the verse, give me a goddamn game. Let's get this done. I want a game.
I agree.
Every dollar that they spend on special emails for this, that, and the other, and a card, and a special, you get a rope line over here, and if you stand over here and you bought this, you spent $10,000, you qualified to pay $800 for a card that lets you qualify to go stand in a line over here and spend $10 to get a picture with Chris Roberts. No. Just make the game. I don't want nothing else. And I don't want anybody to have an advantage. I want all of my brothers and sisters to be equal.
Okay, and I'm agreeing with you. I'm trying to figure out what's the tightrope when you have to raise money. What's the incentive for
Straight
that?
up,
hear what I'm saying.
for the money.
No, hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying.
Okay.
I can, if you want to equalize it to the level that you're equalizing it. Okay.
Yes.
If I give $40,000 to this game, and $40,000 to the game. Hopefully, if you're giving $40,000, it's because that's what you can afford. In other words, 40,000 is like $40. You know what I mean? Hopefully that's where your economics are, right? That $40,000 is not a big deal for you. That's an equalizing factor, right? The person who can afford to give $40,000 and the person who can afford to give $45. But when you're trying to raise money, without any other incentives. Psychological incentives now. We're talking about psychological incentives. They may be virtual. They may be vaporware. There's nothing there. I agree with you when it comes to the game. We have to always try to make sure that there's equilibrium, right? Whether the person paid 40 grand or 45, they should be able to come into the world, the game, and feel equal. Now, there's still the physical, real world of how people operate when it comes to marketing and raising money. So what becomes the incentive for people when they do give? If you want to say, like, not to be funny, public broadcasting, when you give, like for me, it's channel 11, right? PBS. If I give them $100, they say, here's the freaking DVD. Thank you for giving us something. Does that DVD mean something to me? For some people, it does. For some people, it's like, oh, it's that series on, the Navajo Indians. And they're going to give us that DVD. I'll give $80 for it. There's some people who are going to give the $80 regardless, right? Regardless, right? But I think that I don't know what striking that balance is, because again, I'm saying this based upon the fact that CIG created this space. You're giving me the space of if they didn't create it. Well, that's a different thing. But the reality of it is that exists. The cards exist, the structures exist. And the question becomes, how do you, to me, and maybe, you know what, Kai? The next subject we're going to go into leads into why I'm raising this as an issue, is to how do you make it so that it feels equal? Because the way they structured the ticket sales, there were a lot of people who felt it was bad. And I don't know all the behind the scenes on how the ticket sales went, but there were people who struggled yesterday because of some bad structuring that they put in place. And we'll talk about it, but I agree with you 100%. I just don't know what the answer is in how this particular project was structured. I understood why, they went the typical model right in the very beginning of all these structures. Because remember when I read about the first cards, you got cards at $30, $40, $60, way lower, right? But then they eliminated it. This cards thing disappeared. You know what these cards used to be able to get them for? $10. And it got rid of it. So the question becomes, is this thing moot now where it means nothing and it's nothing more than a souvenir? And if it is, fine. But that's not what CIG has projected. So you can't make that contract in the beginning that this meant something.
Oh, yes, they can. They've done it on 800 other issues. Remember when we were going to get the game in 2013? Like, come on, man.
Wait, that's the game.
It is what it is, the game. Bro.
Wait, that's the game.
It is what it is.
Okay, true. But if that's the case, then tell us. Hear what I'm saying? If that's the case, then just tell us. That way the expectation is removed. That's all I'm saying. But
I think at this point the expectation has been removed. I get it.
Maybe,
I get it. You're saying, look, just come to me man to man and tell me to my face. And what I'm saying is, they've done it 900 times at this point. It is what it is.
But not when they have. Okay, then maybe that's the case. This goes back to North End Trooper's point about who's communicating that stuff to the people, because there is a live active concierge page with all these tiers and all this stuff, right? And so that psychologically creates a space of expectation. If you send us a letter that says, hey, we need to build out the Chairman's Club more, and we'd love to know what you guys think we would like to see, blah, blah. They keep doing that. So if you keep doing that, you're making me think that this whole Chairman's Club has some significance to me as a backer. But if you tell me, now mind you, like those first cards I read off about, I said that was for the original crowdfunding thing. So I get it. That had a time frame that existed within. Now, if that's it, maybe the lines are blurred. Maybe there's expectations that shouldn't be there, to your point, that in the, for its season and time, it meant something. But today,
100%.
It's gone now.
It's that 100%. You just used the term. It's creating a psychological expectation of a value. You know what that's called? Marketing and sales bullshit.
Well, yeah.
Yes, that's everything. And it's not, and I'm not saying that to dunk on CIG. Audi does it, Porsche does it, Ferrari does it,
everybody does it. Right.
Anything that is, and I don't care. Who doesn't do it is like the little stuff. Yeah. The big, who does it is all the aspirational brands, all of the luxury brands. This right here is all. It's all marketing. Okay. It's all bullshit. And I'm not even mad at them about it because whatever they do to separate people from their money, like, look, respect the game. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, like, it's one of those deals where, like, all right, it is what it is. But for me personally, what I want, and I'm not saying this as someone who's on the outside looking in, I put a couple dollars into this thing. Right. But I don't care. I just want them. I don't want special benefits. I've never used any special benefits and I don't intend to. I just want my game. Okay. So put all the dollars into that. Now, as far as you're saying, like, but with all this side hustle, they can get some extra money and this, that, and the other. Like, I get it. But, like, man, I don't even like paying money for ships, but like, okay, I've made my peace with it. It is what it is. Right. I just all this other, hey, you could get a card, you could get this card right here. This when Chris Roberts sees you, he's gonna come give you a Frenchman's kiss on each cheek and pat you on the back and say, "Hello, my special citizen." Like, no,
right, right. No, I agree. No, I agree. I don't want that. I don't want that.
Focus on the game. Let everybody be equal, and let's just move on with this shit. Can we please get a game sometime in the 2020s? I don't want to be talking about this in 2035. Can we please just get a game? Please. That's all I want is a game. That's what I want for my money. I would like a game. I love you. I'm out.
All right, buddy. Thank you, man. All right, that's good, old Kai. Bringing the other side as always. Okay, so I said that this question was leading into my next question. And the next question is, let me go back. Let me close this out, close that out. There. TicketMaster or TicketDisaster? Curious to know what you guys think about the tickets. Now, some of you guys, this may not have any impact. Who is that? Black Dreams Hunk. Thank you. Thank you for that follow. Thank you very much. Some of you guys may not have been impacted by this. So I want to give some room for that because this is really going to be impacting to people when it came to purchasing tickets. Now, I want to kind of give a little bit of history here because some of us have gone to several of the Citizen Cons. We went to Citizen Con in 2016 here in the States. I went to 2018 here in the States. And then there's the one that's coming up in LA, which I'm planning on going to too. So my question is, if you tried to buy a VIP ticket, the premier ticket that CIG offered this year, as you guys know, the tickets were sold in waves. They were sold at, I'm going to go by Chicago time, guys, because I can't go by the crazy time. One was done at 11 a.m. My time. Then there was another sale that went at 7 p.m. my time, or 8 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 8 hours later, 7 p.m. And then there was another one that would go off at 3 a.m. So there were 3 waves on Wednesday, and then there were 3 waves on Thursday. And those times were the same on each one. And those sales, like many of the sales for CIG, tickets for the VIP, the premier ticket, went very quickly, very fast. For most people, there was a technical glitch on the first one. Because on the first one, some people tried to buy their tickets, and what it said was that unable to sell you these tickets in this country that you live in. And there were people who, for some reason or other, were getting that message. It came up. CIG was immediate in responding to that message and saying that there was a technical problem on their end, that they would fix it. And I think within 10 to 15 minutes, they had it fixed. But unfortunately, people who tried to buy during that first wave got this error message and were unable to purchase tickets. So that was one snafu that happened. The second thing was that the ticket sales, when they took place, happened in such a way that we had no idea how many tickets were available. CIG has previously, if I'm remembering correctly, really never notified us as to how much the ticket sales were. Now, in 2016, the place we went to, can't think of the name of it, just flew out of the top of my head. We went to, it was like a theater that was in Los Angeles, and that theater accommodated approximately 800, 900 people. And so we, if you looked up the venue, you could figure out like this is what the seating of it is, right? Then we went to Austin, Texas in 2018, and the ticket sales for there was somewhere around 1,700, 1,800 people. And the Avalon, thank you, Fast Card. The Avalon in Los Angeles in 2016. In 2018, we were in Austin, Texas, and we were at their convention center. And the seating there, we had about 1,700 to 1,800 people that were there. This year, we are going to be in Los Angeles at the Los Angeles Convention Center. Now, there's no way to really gauge that one because the convention center is expandable. You could have a group of 1,000. You could have a group of probably, 15,000. 20,000. I don't know. But it's a big space. So we really have no idea of how much space is allocated for the convention. And so I'm not sure if CIG knows. I'm sure they have a perspective number. Fast Card and I have talked about this previously. He talked about it on the CitizenCon show a couple weeks ago. We're guesstimating that if 1,800 people came last time, we're expecting, and that was 4 years ago, right? 5 years ago, that was 2018. We're thinking maybe it could be something like 2,500 to 3,000 people easily. That's the number that we would think of. It's a big trip for a lot of people, but when we've come to CitizenCons previously in the States, people come from Germany, Australia, UK, whole 9 yards, plus people here in the States. Also, the fact that it's been 3 years since a actual physical CitizenCon, there are a lot of people who are anticipating getting together again. So with the anticipation of a physical CitizenCon in person, the fact that in the States there hasn't been one here in 5 years, and the anticipation of the progress of the game and the development, a lot of people feel like there will be a decent turnout at this convention. Now, it could be more than that, maybe less than that. Maybe there's only 1,800 last time. Maybe it'll only be 2,000 this time. I don't know. Instigate. Thank you for that resub. Thank you very much. maybe 2,000 people. But me and FC, we're around that 2,500, 3,000 people might show up. Now, could it be more? Maybe. And maybe CIG will have to scale up how many tickets they have available based upon what the response is. Now, there were some limiting factors, and the limiting factors were, well, let me tell you what it was. First off, you get a goodie swag bag, which is normal to any type of convention, right? That's normal. That comes with donations from places like Intel, stuff like that. They put some cards in there about ships, things like that. They gave us a magazine one year. There was a really nice color brochure of what was going on. Some years they gave away some swag. I was told a couple of days ago, remember when Intel gave out the Optane drive, they actually gave some of those away. They did some from the stage, but I completely didn't know that they actually gave some away in the swag bags. You had a little certificate, you went in and you got one. So there's a swag bag you get. There's usually the admission, obviously, to the event. And then there was 2 areas of seating. There was VIP seating, which was usually closer to the stage, first floor kind of thing. And then there was general seating where you sat, and if there was still room, you sat down there, or you sat up in the balconies or whatever. It's a convention center this time, so we'll have to see how they lay it out and how they structure it. But this time they've added what they call an after party. And the after party is going to be, which they announced, will be held at their Los Angeles studios. Now, for those of us who've been there before or have seen it, we know that the studio is limited in size. Now, in 2016, they gave tours when we were there, and Fastcard's estimating that maybe a couple hundred people can go to the studio. When they had the other dinner that I mentioned earlier, that event, that VIP event, it was for like 250 people to come for that. Now, that was a sit-down dinner, mind you, so they had to accommodate being able to seat people. Doesn't mean they can't have more people there, but that's how many people they accommodated to be able to have a sit-down dinner, okay? So we don't know how many people they can facilitate in the studio, mostly because we don't know if the studio is the same size, whether they've increased it, whether the building has added on some other areas, whether they'll do it in the parking lot. We just don't know. But we do know that they had to leave enough premier seats to be able to have an after party. Now, how big that could be, who knows? 200 people, 500 people, 1,000 people, we don't know. We're trying to ratio it against how many tickets they sell against general admission. So the question is, for you, as far as the ticket sales, did you have any problems? Was it no problem? Were you one of those people who signed in and boom, I got my ticket? Were you one of those people that you tried to get your ticket and got to the cart, but you weren't able to purchase it? Were you one of those people who couldn't even get into the cart? It was just gone too quickly. Some of you guys know who tried to buy VIPs, that those tickets for most of the sales went within 5 seconds. Within 5 seconds, they were gone. So is there a better way to do the tiering of seats? That's one of the things I want to ask about. Is there a better way to do it to make it equitable for people to go? Because we do, and I'm going to go back to what Kai was saying, how do you treat everybody equally? And for the person that has given more money, should there be perks? Should there be some form of a perk? Or once you've given your money, that was your contribution. My only concern is that CIG is the one that's created these tiers. And so should there be expectations, or should those expectations be just basically however they grant them? Whatever you guys think about this, I'd love to hear from you. So let me bring in Pops in space, and then we're going to pick from there. Pops, you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy, what you got?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to say, don't be in line with Fastcard, because he will knock you out the way and get your ticket, or you will.
Okay.
But no, I was happy to see that he got his ticket, because I was in front of him, but he got it before. So
okay.
it was just a random thing, was which my point was.
Okay.
Because I had already clicked, so it's not a personal thing unless FC got a golden keyboard. Maybe he does. I don't know.
All right.
But my main point is this: it is a lot of trouble. I think it should have been done concierge levels on down, availability of these tickets, and I believe this is the first time they've ever had broke out tickets like this. So I think they should have had it so that top level people on down had access on down. I think that would have been fair. I think it, would set those people aside.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. How do you prevent, how do you make sure though that the person who's not top level gains access to the event if it's a limited event. If it's a limited, see, everybody can go to the general.
Right.
Right.
I think that's
everybody can't go to the VIP.
Right.
So how do you make sure that the person who pays $45 can go to it if you make it exclusively to the people who've paid more money?
Right. I think the subscriber thing was a big mistake. I think it should have gone to sales to what's the top level? And Legatus is top. Legatus. I think Legatus should have had first crack at it. They should have been, an email should have gone out. Legatus people should have been notified there's a 15-minute window, 10-minute window, 5-minute window, such and such date to get your ticket.
Do you limit it?
Oh, no, I don't think you do.
So you're saying the Legatus people could buy all the tickets. You're saying Legatus could buy all the tickets up.
Oh, no. Okay, let me clarify limited. Limited meaning one per person.
I get it. I get it. I get it. But let's say there's 200 Legatus.
I think they earned it. They paid for it.
So that means you wouldn't be going.
I wouldn't. I would.
So how do you keep it fair? So how do you keep it fair? How do you keep it fair for that person that paid $45 to go?
I think it's fair because they've spent all of that money and they should have.
I didn't ask you about how is it fair for the rich person. I said, how is it fair for the person that paid $45?
$45 is they just got to wait in line.
That's you just said the tickets were gone.
No, I didn't say the tickets.
I said, let me give you the example.
Okay.
I said, if there's 200 Legatus people and there's 200 tickets and they buy all the tickets.
The special event tickets.
Yes.
Right. Then it should be that person that, and me included in that. I'm concierge.
So you don't think that's gonna cause no problems? That only the Legatus people get to go to the executive party, but nobody else gets to go.
Yes. If the 200 people that are Legatus bought all 200 tickets, then they should go.
All right.
They earned it.
Oh, they earned it. Okay. All right, Pops. We're gonna see. Y'all make sure y'all forward y'all emails to Pops in space. All right. We're gonna see what everybody else says. Okay. All right, no Pops.
Problem,
let me bring some folks in, okay? Here we go. All right. Let's bring in Fist to Face. Fist, you there?
Hey, what's up, Griff? All right, so check this out. I'm a double down what Pop said, and guess what? I'm gonna go even harder. Okay, so you got $45 and you want to go to the Super Bowl. Where you gonna sit at?
In the rafters.
Get your ass outside.
But we ain't talking about the rafters. We talking about the exclusive party. Y'all talking about. I said they can go. Everybody can go.
Right. No, you can go, but guess what? You're gonna have to bring. You gonna have to bring what?
I don't know what.
You're gonna have to bring money to buy for that ticket.
Okay, and they willing to pay $2.99 for the ticket. So what's the problem?
No. You got to bring more than that to buy that ticket.
What are you talking about?
Come on now, hold on for a second. Because all right, and I get that. My sentiment and I feel is like this. Okay, if somebody spent 20 grand in this game, right? To support that game. That's their dedication to this game.
All right, let me use your example. Let's stop you right now. Let me stop you right now. If I wanted to go to a Bears game and I wanted to get a glass box seat, even though those suckers are all mostly corporate people, but if I'm willing to drop the money to sit in that glass box seat, you telling me I shouldn't be able to go in there?
Yep.
How is that? The world don't operate like that. If I'm willing to pay for it, wait, stop. I said the world don't operate like that. If I'm willing to pay for that glass box seat, they don't care whether I make $10,000 or $1 million a year. If I've dropped the money to sit in that seat, the Bears will let me sit in there. So why are you banning me from going to the Bears game even though I got the money?
But I get that part.
Okay.
Right? And I get that part. But what I'm saying though is that how do you slight the folks that have, put you where you are?
But my $45 puts you where you are.
Yeah, I get that. But how do you still slight the folks that still put you where you are?
Okay, so you're doubling. What I'm saying? Okay, so you're doubling down.
I'm doubling down.
And you're saying that they
I'm
should.
Standing the ground.
Okay.
I got concrete sneakers on.
Okay.
And I'm standing right here on it.
All right. Let me bring some more folks in there. Okay.
I'm just saying.
All right. I got you. I'm gonna bring Admiral Kusanagi in next. Okay, thanks. Admiral Kusanagi, Admiral. You there?
Oh boy. Oh boy. I gotta trickle down. Griff.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Your $45 got you to play the game. That's all it did. It got you to play the game in your little Aurora, and that's all you get for that.
Okay. And so does your $40,000.
40. I agree. So it should go in a tier system. Starting a Legatus goes down. $300 is way too cheap. You know, these people paying $40,000 like back in the game, or $20,000, whatever. They're buying, you know, their wives probably have a $1,500, $5,000 handbag. So $300 is like going and buying, I don't know, a Kit Kat possibly for somebody. So the price of these tickets are ridiculously low for premium. I think someone said like $1,000. Probably maybe, you know, a little lower than that would be okay. But I mean, when these things go out in seconds, there's a problem. You know, I think it was GoMab the other day, and I were kind of in agreement that there's a supply and demand issue here, and these things are you can clearly see that. And to go off of what Pops was saying, and maybe increase that. If I'm going to spend $30,000 in this game, I should be able to bring my loved one, the person who, you know, I'm doing this together with. So I should be able to bring my wife or girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever you want to do. So you should be able to buy 2 tickets.
Okay. Let me respond to something that Citizen Kilroy is saying. And you're right, Citizen Kilroy. Don't get me wrong. You're right. Based upon availability, you can be able to get it. And there is right of first refusal. That's why I use the example of if all the tickets were gone, you know, because, and I'm saying this because I'm talking about equity in the structure of how this game is designed, because they've tried to make everything about Star Citizen where everybody has some form of access. And I do understand that there can be tiers of things that, you know, you're just not in a certain bracket. You just can't, like, it's like going to buy a Rolls Royce, right? They won't even talk to you if you're not at a certain level to go buy a Rolls Royce, unless you can truly prove, not just you have the money in your hand, but that, you know, there's a lot of stuff you got to prove to go and just buy a Rolls Royce, okay? But I'm just saying, the way CIG has structured itself, they try to keep equity no matter whether you're a $45 giver or a $40,000 giver. And my question is, how do we make it so that everybody has a chance? That's all I'm saying. How does everybody have a chance? Because their theme throughout their company is they don't want to block people out from being able to experience certain aspects of what CIG is doing. So I want to make sure that's what you guys are getting, why I'm pushing back a little bit, because they're the ones who have stated that. I could go hard line and say certain things, but they're the ones who've established this equity dynamic for their players. And to Kai's point earlier, that's what that has to be something to me that is priority for them, that no matter whether you give $45 or $40,000, like he said, you shouldn't be able to walk up to Chris Roberts and because you gave $40,000, you get the handshake and the hug and he signs your poster. But if you give him $45, it just says hi.
Maybe this is the wrong venue. I mean, if you want to be able to go to SIG headquarters or one of their locations and say, hey, I'd like to go on a tour. I'm a $45 backer. Hey, sign your name here. We'll get a tour for you.
Well, maybe I don't know. See, well, the problem is, Admiral, none of us knows, you know, this is the other problem. We're shooting it from the hip a little bit here because we don't know what they can accommodate. You know, see, Fastcar put that 250 number out there and I get it. But we honestly, CIG can't say they're going to have an event and then they can't accommodate it. So they've got to have figured out something. But what I had difficulty with, this is what I had difficulty with. The 250 number made it a very limited amount of people for ticket sales. And I'm just basing it on their old numbers. Let's just say there's 2,000 people. That means only 1/10 of the people get to go to the after party. Now, maybe that's all they want. Maybe that is all they want. Just 10% of the people get to go. But that also meant in 6 waves of sales, that meant that there were only less than 30 tickets available? That 30 was 3 times 7. No, not even 30. 30 times 4, 6 times 4, 30. Yeah. That would have meant there was like 35 tickets on sale each time with thousands of people trying to buy tickets. That didn't make sense. The math didn't make sense to me.
Well, which is why they have to be more expensive, because it pulls people out of the. I mean,
it didn't. That price did not exclude nobody. When I was in test, there were at least 10 of us at one point trying to buy tickets. I know 10 people that have bought tickets. That's telling me that that means just the people I know have bought 1/5 of the ticket, 1/5 of the ticket, 5% of the tickets already. No, 10 people, 10 times 10. What's that? 20%? What is it? 20% of the tickets are gone with 10 people? Yeah. Just for people I know, 10 people. So it's got to be more than 200 tickets. It's no way it could be 200 tickets. Because I know 10 people personally who have tickets. It would be a super small party. And it would have eliminated tons and tons of people buying tickets.
Well, I mean, we talked about this on Thursday. BlizzardCon, you know, the regular price tickets are $300, and the premium tickets are $800.
Yeah.
So I don't know the size of the venues, but how what the capacity for each convention center that location is doing, and our location is doing. But there's something that I think they got that wrong.
I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. I mean, we'll find out. You know, we'll find out. I get what you're saying. I'm just trying to figure out the math, and because we just don't know, you know, how many people they're accommodating. You know, they've always had they never had an after party. They always had where they used to do is meet everybody either at the Bar Citizen beforehand, or when the convention was over, it was like an impromptu after party, right? The problem with it, and I think the reason why they're killing that, and I hate to say it this way, but I think this is the reason why, they literally would spend a ridiculous amount of time afterward. Like it would be maybe leaving like at 3 a.m. It would be a long day. And I think that by them creating the after party, they have more control over this is when it starts, this is when it ends, versus it's like they're kind of going on. Because, you know, you hear me say this all the time. Star Citizen fans can sit around and talk about Star Citizen for 3 weeks in a row and never stop. And at some point, they have to cut it off. So I think for me, it's more of a control mechanism versus it being, I mean, they could raise the money. I mean, because here's the other deal too. If they sold 3,000, if I did my math correctly, let me do it right now. And bear with me, Admiral, here. If they sold 3,000 tickets, and let's say they sold all the tickets at $299 a person, okay? They only make $897,000. That is not enough money to cover the convention center for 2 days. So they're not making money off of this.
Which is an issue.
No, it's not an issue. It's not an issue because it's not intended to raise money. They will raise money based on the ships they sell that weekend. That's where they will make their money. And that's where they always make their money. If you look at when they do a convention, they launch a new ship that brings in tons of money.
Which is why I'll be home and I'll save the money.
Which may be the way to do it, right? But my point is, I don't want people to think that ticket sale price is they're just raising the price up because they're going to make money off of it. No, they won't. For the LA Convention Center, they're not making enough money to cover that weekend off the ticket sales.
I don't think they should be in the red just because of
it's not in the red. It's
in the black because the ship sales. I'm saying that the conference itself should be able to cover the cost of the conference.
Well, then that means the ticket sales would have to be way higher than what you're saying.
The ship sales should be a ship sale. That's all it should be. Like you know, St. Patrick's Day or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But that's what they're doing here. Now, I don't know how people feel about one person buying up 5 tickets for their family and friends, which again is $1,000 just right there. So yeah, I can go and get 5 regular tickets, and then that cost me $1,000. But I can't, you know, set aside a premium ticket that cost me $1,000 because I want a premium seat. And that makes the that scope of people that I compete with, the F5 thing, it throws it out the water a bit. Throws it out the seat. I don't have to worry about it as much.
Okay.
It's like getting the Idris when they put it up for sale. If you buy an Idris with cash, you can get that thing for half an hour or maybe an hour.
Right.
If you're doing the F5 war to do a credit Idris or a credit Javelin, that thing's going to be out in like seconds, which is what happened here. But if it's cash and it's a lot of money, that thing is available for quite a long time.
No, actually, it's the other way around. The cash ones go out faster.
No, I bought an Idris. It took me it was up there for like 5 minutes.
Well,
maybe it's based on which
depending on what it is. It might have been,
the first one or the last one or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. Thank you, Admiral.
I have to get some popcorn because Kai's coming up. And I have to get ready for this.
Okay, Kai is next. Okay, buddy. All right, let's bring Kai in. Kai, you there?
All right. Look, I'm going to preface this by saying I absolutely love New Soul. I absolutely love Fist and Pops. I'm reasonably fond of Kusanagi. Y'all need Jesus. Well, you talking about they need to charge more money for this shit? No. Just no. Just no. Just no. With respect and love, just no.
Oh man.
Look, here's the deal. As far as to your point, you got to prove some stuff to get a Rolls Royce. You ain't got to prove shit. You got to have, they got to say, let me run your, this is a bank cashier's check. It cleared. That's the price. That's the price. It's very nice. Done.
Right. That's what I mean.
As far as y'all suggesting that CIG needs to charge more money because, oh my God, they're doing themselves dirty on this. These people are crafty. They know how to make money. You can relax. You don't have to worry. You don't have to cry yourself to sleep that CIG is going to go hungry. All right.
Yeah.
Just no. Here's how you do the sales.
Okay.
The price is the price.
Mm-hmm.
You put them up for sale.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do it like, we're going to split it up over 2 or 3 time zones to be thoughtful. Okay, that's fine. I ain't mad at it.
Right.
If you want to just say we're putting them all up for sale at 3 p.m., and I don't care if that's 3 p.m. in New York or 3 p.m. in London, whatever, and people just deal with it. Just deal. If you care that much, if you're going to hop on a plane, you know what? They should put them up for sale at 4 p.m. in L.A., and here's why. Ready? And my time ain't LA time, so that don't do nothing for me. And I ain't buying tickets to this show anyway, so whatever. But if you're gonna get on a plane and fly there to be at an event at 4 p.m. in LA time, then that means that you can get your ass up and click F5 like everybody else to buy the tickets or whatever. That's fine. Just sell them.
Right.
And the price is the price, and everyone is equal. No one has any special head start. No one has any whatever. You sell the tickets. If you want a ticket, you buy a ticket. As far as I think everybody who wants to can go to the convention center and see the thing.
Right.
I'll do you one better. Here's what they should do. Do your little fancy schmancy. This costs $100 to come in and get your picture taken with Chris and I don't know, fucking. Excuse. Sorry,
okay.
sorry.
You're okay. You're okay.
Be able to say like, oh look, I had a beer with Tony Z and all I got was this dumb T-shirt, whatever kind of whatever. Like, yeah, you do you, whatever you want, and then on Sunday, so that's Saturday, because this is a 2-day show now.
Right.
So Saturday they do a, here's a 5-hour after party, quote unquote, where you can buy some bad champagne, free champagne, whatever. You can get whatever. And I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to set up one of those big ass tents like at weddings in that big parking lot. And between the space they have in the studio that they can clear out and the space they have in them tents, they're going to have hundreds of people there. And God bless. You want to make money and people are dumb enough to spend it? God bless. Go have fun. Like, whatever. I ain't mad at them for it. Go do you.
Yeah.
That should be on Saturday.
Okay.
And then on Sunday, there should be some big ass place where they go and they say, we're having the after party for the people right here. We're having the Levski party right here. How much does it cost to get in? Nothing. Who's invited? All y'all. Let's go. And just have no kind of deal, no cover charge, no nothing. Just, we're all invading this bar. What's the price? Whatever you want to drink, it costs however much the bar says it costs. Let's all just go and be. Let's all chill. And none of this, oh, well, I have the little shirt and a monocle, so I get to go first. No, man. Nope. Just go and have a party, and everyone's equal. The price is the price. And there's a free one on the second day where the price is $0. Whatever is between you and the bar, that's your business. But let's have a little more Levski and a little less Origin up in here. I'm out.
Bye. Gotta take my shot. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put something else on screen. Okay, I'll do it at the end because it'll generate a whole nother level of conversation. Let me bring Dark Knight in. DK, you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What you got?
So I don't know how I really feel about this subject. A lot of notes while we were talking, and everybody did make some good points, but a few points were made that were better. Where I'm going, were better said by Kai and partly by Admiral at the same time.
Okay.
But my whole take on first, ticket sales themselves, they could have done it by lottery. This eliminates so many of the problems they were having. One, the quantity of people that were going to be part of it. Two, having issues with the processing that they had going on with all of these people having an inability to add it to their cart or to even, pay for it, so that eliminates that. How they would do it by lottery, I don't know. Maybe VIP only offered to Concierge through their lottery. Maybe it's a DIB system where they get double entry into this lottery. Your lottery could be put in by, say, $5 minimum or something like that, to get a vote or not a vote, to get an entry into this lottery. And then everybody gets a chance. Every single person gets a chance to be a part of this. And through the lottery, you could tell this is how many tickets we have for sale. This is how many tickets we have for this. This is how many tickets we have for that. Make it a tier system. You make it a, like rank choice for voting. You go for VIP, and then if you don't get VIP, you immediately get bumped down to, the next level or something like that. I'm trying to find a way to make it fair, you know? And you could charge more for the VIP, not more than what is charged. I'm talking about their charge $199 and they charge $299. Just leave it at that. But everybody gets access to to availability of those tickets, and then they do a drawing. And if you're drawn, you get your ticket. Period. You get the ticket that that you went for. I don't know, like I said, I don't know how you make it work, but that's that's a way way to do it. Regarding the party, now, Kai was on a point about having a party for everybody that can be a part of it, and join after the show. My sister recently threw the inaugural party for the mayor, for Mayor Johnson.
Okay.
And it was over there. Most people don't know where, but it was on the UIC campus. Right. It held about 1,000, 2,000 people. It was a large enough party. They had food and drinks and everything. There were vendors and all sorts of pop-up stalls and stuff like that. They had a huge stage with lots of music, lots of celebrities walking around, and you could pay to get in. But but they could have something similar to that everybody gets to go to, that paid to go to the event, and have that in the convention center right there, on point. They don't even have to move or rent out new space or anything like that. Just have a big party for everybody. And then if they want to have a studio party, then have it separate and then charge for that, and charge however much you want to charge for, $200, $300 for that separate studio all-inclusive event where you get to meet Sandy and meet Chris and meet them, la 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 la. Maybe they can get a chance to meet and greet at this other party and get a chance to shake hands and say hello. But if you want to sit down and have a conversation at the LA studio, then make that its own little special exclusive event that does cost money, that costs an extra $300 or $400 for somebody who can afford to want to go and do that. That does make it, there's your exclusivity. So there's your exclusive access to, be a part of this, a special club. Maybe that little black card can actually have use. I don't know. I'm just trying to find a happy medium, where this makes sense for everybody, and I think separating that little VIP party completely separate of the convention itself might be a good place to start. And just leave that as its own little exclusive, separate, paid event that you actually have to pay another charge for, and leave the extra $200 VIP to having, or $100 VIP to front row seats and this after party, and then they could say I sold 2,000 VIP tickets for a 5,000 party, 5,000 people event. I don't know. I'm just trying to find a way that you guys get your exclusivity, and you feel like you got something with that, 200, 300, 400 people at this special event, all paying $400 a peep. It's just like that's their moneymaker. They can make money at the event.
If you don't mind, DK, I'm going to wrap with you. Pops, I know you're in queue, but I've got to wrap it up because I'm over time already. So you have to forgive me for this one because I got to still present some other stuff. Taking in everybody said, and I said I didn't put my stuff on screen because I did have some other stuff, and you kind of went down the road that I wanted to go down, DK, and that's, and I know we've got people who feel Yes, CIG should be providing more to those who have given more. We have the other side that says those people who have given based upon the understanding that you're giving to this project. And it's not necessarily about the premiums and the benefits, which we always tell people, right? You know, when you give because you're supporting the project, right? Yeah, you get some tokens back, you know, that's what they do. But beyond that, you really should give your money because you believe in what the project is doing. So let me show you what I posted, what I wrote up, and I want to go into something here. If you guys don't know how this was broken down, there was preferential treatment, for lack of a better word, preferred access, I should say, that was given to people who were concierge and subscribers. Okay. And what happened was day one, they got first shot at tickets. And then day two, the general public or general backers got access to tickets. So the way they tiered it, and the reason why I said this, there was a merging of ideas, is because DK kind of raised up the thing that I was thinking. And I actually thought about a lottery system, DK, that there would be a lottery system. And basically, if you wanted to go, you would submit during wave one that I want to attend. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because first of all, they need to have some type of metric of how many people want to come. And part of the reason why I think the way they did the waves thing too, to Kai's point, yes, they did it for time zones so that if you lived in Germany, you didn't have to be up at 3 a.m. or whatever, you know, you could be at a reasonable hour and have a fair chance of getting tickets. But I wanted it to be where there would be either one of two things would happen. Either a window of time. I think Fist suggested this earlier, or Pops suggested that there would be a window of time that would be like 15 minutes. These tickets are available for this group or that. But I also thought about a lottery, and I'm going to go with your route because that was the way that was my secondary idea. And it was the fact that during wave one, if you wanted to go, you submitted to go. And within that lottery system, you would be notified whether you were picked. That would be wave one. For people who were in this, as you see on the screen, the OGs, that means the original Kickstarter people. They've been around 11 years. So I think they get that opportunity. Legatus, Nevium, and Praetorian. Now, it doesn't mean they're guaranteed to get a ticket. It just means they're guaranteed to be in the lottery. And they would have to be a limited amount because I'm going to go with what Kai said earlier. Let's just say they're able to accommodate 1,000 people after party. Okay.
Right.
And my feeling is at that point, 250 seats. That's how many are available for this group. Okay. Wave two would be Wing Commander, Space Marshal, and High Admiral. Okay. That would be the second wave. Same thing, a lottery. 250 seats available to those people. If you get picked, you get picked. If you don't, you don't. Wave three would have been subscribers. Now, there's a lot more subscribers than there are concierge. Okay. And as you guys know, one of the conflicts with subscribers is there's some people who've been subscribing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. There are other people who just subscribed last month. In fact, they might have just subscribed just to be able to have access, right?
Exactly.
And so there is a feeling of that ain't fair to the people who've been subscribing for 8 years. You know, I'm a subscriber. I've been subscribing for 8 years. It's even unfair to people who said, I've given $25,000 and here's somebody who paid $10 and they get to get access to tickets at the same time I do. To me, there's some unfairness there too. But I think what keeps it fair is 250 seats available to those people. And now there's another 250 seats that are blocked for the general public. Okay. And those tickets, as far as I'm concerned, that's it. Now, that's not the answer completely, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to, like you, DK, I'm trying to find a way that makes the event equal and accessible to everybody who backs,
right?
No matter what level they're at, right? And at the same time, you allow some people who have done more, BBG came up with some other cool ideas. Thursday night, he talked about maybe even depending on how persons play in the game, if they participate in all the activities, if they do, what's the thing called? All the different dynamic events, and because they're supporting and there's a lot of creative ways. Now it's a monster because the other thing is that this event is evolving, right? It's evolved from when we were in 2016, DK, the event was 3 hours long, maybe 4 hours long. That was it.
Yeah, I've heard.
That was it. And after that, people just sang around, drank beer the rest of the day. There was nothing else. You know what I'm saying? There was a bar citizen the day before, but that was it. Last time we went, it was 8 hours or 9 hours. There were food trucks. There were life-size models. There were actors there for the different manufacturers. It's evolving. And each time there's a growing pain to it evolving.
Right.
We didn't have problems getting tickets in 2018. You just got your tickets. I don't remember all this bouncing back and forth and waves and not getting in. That didn't happen. But because the popularity of the game is changing, and now that we're in a convention center, not a theater, you know what I mean? There's this evolution of the process. I'm very paying attention and watching how will CIG continue to make the event grow in such a way that people want to go. Two, they can afford to go. Because the other thing is this. Going to gaming conventions is a pretty privileged event. You know, everybody can't take off work and be gone for 2-3 days to a gaming convention. You know what I'm saying?
A lot.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't like going for your job, you know, where you're getting paid. These are people who are taking money that could be going to vacations or family or their bills, and they're going to do this. And so there's some sacrifice there for some people. For some people, they can afford to go, you know, but I believe that the event should be that the person who's given $45, they can get access to everything that happens at the event. And then again, those people who have been in there for 8 years, maybe all they've given is $45, but they've been in here for 8-9 years. Right, they should be able to have access. And then there's that person like Unique, who's been in here since day one, you know, July 2012. But if he wants to go, he should have an opportunity to be able to go to the event. Now, maybe one day it'll be something different. Remember I talked about how they have the different lounges, DK? The different lounges at the convention.
And actually,
maybe that
up.
What's that?
Yeah, that brought something up, and it might point to what you were talking about, is that they do have a special event for those backers, those high
instead of saying an event,
they do have some kind of special party.
Let me throw something at you. Let me throw something at you.
They don't have to tell people about it.
Let me throw this at you. Instead of an event, remember I mentioned how they have the different lounges, right? Maybe there's just a thing where Chris and Sean Tracy and, you know, those big guys, Brian Chambers, at this certain time on the schedule, they're there and you get to go in and talk with them. Now, people can still talk with them throughout the general event. You know what I'm saying? But maybe that's all there is. Maybe just when you go to that, if I pay my $2.99, instead of it being a venue where there's limited space and limited people that can go, you know what I'm saying? Maybe now it's just that particular area.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's just
that particular.
We go there, and if I pay the $2.99, I get to go there, sit out, hang out with other people who are in my tier level, and we just get to hang out and talk. Chris and them may come in there for 15-20 minutes and talk with the people. That's it, and they go do something else. That's it.
You know what? Speaking of with the after party, that not the after party, but at the convention center, that party at the convention center, that lounge is what I was talking about. Like my sister's Brandon Johnson party. Yeah, that would be that lounge, and you can sit and meet and greet and talk and and shake hands and whatnot, and then have the an exclusive after party, or lounge. You can talk to Chris for 15 minutes or whatnot.
Well, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Let me say this. Wait, DK. Let me say this. The event is growing so big now that you get that 15-minute talk. That was in the early days. I literally sat there in LA in 2016. There were jokers that sat there and talked to him like for freaking 15-20 minutes. There's a line of 80-90 people behind him. I'm like, hey, dude, you need to wrap that up.
Make it like a shake hand, hi, how you doing, get an autograph.
But here's the deal, too. There's some people who don't care about all that stuff, right? There's some people who honestly have given $10,000. They could care less about taking a picture and a photograph. I'm just saying they have a structure in place already with the lounges. That doesn't mean that they have to have the after party could be what you said earlier, what Kai said earlier, that everybody gets to go to that. But that one-on-one direct thing could happen in the lounges during the convention weekend. And it doesn't mean that they have to take, because first of all, they got to transport us to the LA studios, all that stuff. We could eliminate all of that by having everything at the convention, and still everybody gets their chance to talk with Sean Tracy, talk with Brian Chambers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I hear what you're saying, and I think you're saying similar to what I'm saying, but in a different way. Okay. But what I was when I was talking about, you were talking about those big numbers, the Legatus, the Praetorians, and those levels, and what do they get, and whatnot. They may be only ones that go to, say, that studio party, that exclusive studio party where maybe they can only fit 200, 300 people. That would be maybe their way to offer that to just that level of,
and I agree with you there, but the problem with that is what happens to the $45 giver who never gets to go to the studio.
They don't even have to mention that party to them.
Oh, it's gonna get out, DK. Come on, you know it's gonna get out. It's gonna get out. You know it's gonna get out.
I'm playing devil's advocate on that one. I'm just letting the sugar honey iced tea fly.
I got you. All right, listen, I gotta wrap this up. DK, no. You can stay with me because you can help me close it out, okay? Because we're gonna go ahead and if you could just there's no big deal. Guys, thank you guys so much. I know we had a really interesting and invigorating conversation about this. I really appreciate all the thoughts and opinions. And of course, we didn't fix the situation, but we gave some ideas out there, okay? DK, let me tell you about what's happening tomorrow. We're going to be doing a show called Station to Station. We are going to be talking about what we saw this past week on ISC, not just Port Olisar, but life in the game. And DK, I know this is going to be really great for you because we're going to be talking about what our space station is going to be about. They're going to be way more than just places where you refuel and restock and resupply. They're going to be way more than that. DK wants to run his transportation system. You know, these are going to be places where you're going to board his Starliner or his E1 to travel from, to get from place to place. It won't just be the big landing zones. They've talked about shops. They talked about the arresting. When you arrest people, you're going to be bringing them to the jails. They're going to be there. Whole lot of stuff that's going to be going on with stations. So we're going to be talking about that on tomorrow. So you guys tune in for that because we would love to hear what you guys' thoughts are for that. Don't forget also today is Podsat Saturday, where we partner with some of the other streamers in CIG's community. We're going to be partnering with the Astropub for the Captain's Table, which you guys know comes on this evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and then followed up by a relay, which comes on at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And hopefully you guys can fill your Saturday afternoon and evening with lots and lots of Star Citizen content. DK, before you leave, let me ask you, did you watch the ISC Thursday yet? Did you see it?
Yes.
What did you think? What did you think of the final scene of the Port Olisar going into the atmosphere?
I thought that was epic. I thought they should kind of do that, but I don't know how they would do it only one time, and then everybody, many people won't be able to view it. So maybe they just leave it burning in atmosphere for.
You know what was my favorite part?
It's a huge atmosphere. It's going to take a year for it to fall.
I know. You know what was my favorite part though? Was them showing the people running and the guy standing on the chair to T-pose. I died laughing when I saw that. I thought that was so. You got to give them credit for the little humor that they throw in from here to there. So I thought that was pretty good.
It was great. Colossal. It was legendary.
Well, it was. All right, so guys, don't forget tomorrow, Station to Station. Hopefully you guys can join us. Don't forget about St. Jude. Oh, I forgot to do that. Let me cancel this. Oh my God, guys, let me cancel this before we jump real quick. Because I didn't do the St. Jude piece. And like I said, time is kind of running. But let me show you guys this for St. Jude. Let me go back. Let me go back here real quick. I'm not going to run the video. What I'm going to talk about, though, is that we did reach our second tier of $1,000. You guys, within 3 shows, you guys raised $1,000. So thank you so much. We're trying to go for $10,000. Our tiers have changed. I mentioned this last Sunday that we have a anonymous donor who is just being super generous. He's so generous that I felt bad. I didn't even want to. He offered us so much stuff. And I was like, dude, you don't have to give us all this stuff. And he's like, no, I want to give it to you. Just don't tell me who I am. Wow. So I'm like, okay, so we have expanded the amount of stuff that we're giving away. Okay. So if you guys look at the screen real quick, we're going to be giving away tomorrow a Chairman's Club package tomorrow. And now we've expanded it even further. At our $2,000 mark, we're going to be giving away a UEE naval jacket and UEE naval cap. We gave one of those to go about a year and a half ago. We're going to do that again. We've changed some of the tier structure, y'all, so just bear with me. And that's because they give us more stuff to give away. So when we hit the $3,000 mark, DK, I want you to make sure you get plenty of rest. We have to do a 12-hour stream.
Okay. So it's going to happen.
Yes, get some rest. All right. We're going to be doing gameplay. We're going to have some of our friends and special guests to come on the show with us to help us. And we're going to be doing giveaways. During that point, we're going to be doing tiered giveaways. Okay. If we hit $32.50, we're going to give away 2 digital goodie packs from the past from $29, $48, and $49. People are bidding on eBay for these things for stupid money. We're going to be giving that package away. At $3,500, we're going to give away a Sons of Centauri pack. If you don't remember what that is, that's all of the bikes that Tumbrel makes. So we're going to be giving away that package there.
I didn't know that existed.
Yep. Yeah, I know. It's hard to find this stuff now. $3,750, we're going to give away a Prospector. Those of you who are into the mining, this is all with LTI, guys. We're going to give those away. When we hit the $4,000 mark, which we expect to hit that day, we're going to give away an Apollo Triage for $4,000 with LTI. We hit the $5,000 mark. We're going to give the Air and Space pack. If I'm remembering correctly, that's a Terrapin and a Tumbrel. So we're going to give that away. Oh. At $6,000, we're going to give away two medium fighters, a Suntucky and a Saber Comet, both with LTI. When we hit 7,000 DK, Fast Card's favorite ship, Banu Merchantman. Banu Merchantman goes out. At $8,000, we give away an Origin 890. At $9,000, we give away the Exploration pack. Some of you guys may remember that package grew in price. The Exploration pack is the Carrack, the Dur, the Constellation Aquila.
600 I Explorer.
No. That's the Mega. That's the Mega. That's the Mega pack. That's the Mega pack. There's the Exploration pack and there's the Mega Exploration pack. And I think this has like a Tumbrel and a Dragonfly in it. Okay, you get like 5 items in that, all with LTI. And then last but not least, at the $10,000 mark, we're going to give away a Endeavor Master set. I keep leaving Jump in there. I know, Fast Cards, you keep telling me to get rid of Jump. I don't know why it's in there again. But anyway, we're going to give away an Endeavor Master set, the whole 9 yards, all the modules and everything else. So that's going to be then, okay? So other than that, I think that's it. So if you guys want to give towards St. Jude, we would love to have you guys do that, as obviously it helps the kids. And we really want to reach this mark by October 22nd. CitizenCon weekend. We want to culminate this with the $10,000 and be able to celebrate the fact that you guys have helped us reach that goal for St. Jude Children's Hospital and Research. Okay, we can finally get ready to go. All right, we are going to be setting up a raid with Astropub. So you guys, when you get over there, show them some love, give them a shout, let them know you came over from Soul Citizens. DK, thanks for hanging out with me, man, as always.
Thank you.
We've got a couple weeks. The player haters are going to be back. I think in 2 weeks. Or is next week? It might be next week. It's going to be our 50th episode. I think we did 48 last week. I think this is 49. So yeah, I think it's next. It's either next week or week after. I can't remember. Fast Card might remember. Next week. Okay, next week the player haters are back. 50th anniversary, 50th episode. So make sure you guys come. We're going to have as many of them on as possible. So I hope you guys will be ready for that. All right. And otherwise, we'll see you guys later. Take care of yourselves. Hopefully, we'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Till then, peace, love, and soul. You guys take care. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Happy 4th.